already made us, and
All
we
right.
are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. For how many weeks have we been doing this in a row now? It must be a record. We haven't missed one recently.
It's at least 3.
I know that's definitely a record. Like we haven't done that for
It's
ever.
amazing.
I know.
Imagine if we get to 4.
That's steady on. That's not overpromise and underdeliver.
No Brooks tonight. Unfortunate, but at some point we'll have the entire crew, all 6 of the Infinity Stones.
All right.
I'd be the mind gem because I'm so smart.
Yeah, that's why there's a bruise on your ass, right?
Oh yeah. Platoon, you wasn't here. I fell down the stairs like a torpedo. Just fucking hit every step on the way down. Oh god, I'm in agony.
How did you do that?
I got out of the shower.
You say that like it makes stairs harder to figure out. They're quite easy.
Well, you say that, but sometimes I'm eating chocolate as well to heal the numbness of the pain.
So Iron Lung.
Oh yeah, Iron Lung. This movie. No one on the panel saw this movie, if I'm correct.
Correct.
We'll review it.
It is on my list. It's on the list for this week, but no, I've not seen it yet. I know it's doing very well. Like it opened. I know it made more in pre-sales than Shelby Oaks did in its entire theatrical run, which is very funny.
Yes.
And then did it open? Was it 25 or 27 million?
I think it's 28 million
28
altogether.
Worldwide?
Worldwide, yeah.
No, I think it's is it really? I thought it was 21.
I think it's 21 domestic, no? I could be wrong. I've
got almost 18 mil domestic for the weekend and around 4 mil international. So normally in total it's 21.7, yeah.
All right, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, really, really cool, dude. Also, he paid for concessions at certain theater locations, so that's pretty cool. So there are some places where if you went, you just get free popcorn and shit. So that's nice.
What a boss.
Yeah, dude.
Really incentivizing people to go to the theater. That's a really good marketing gimmick, actually.
I mean, I like it because Iron Lung, well, not the movie, but like Markiplier himself is someone who I think is really, really cool. And in comparison to like Chris Stuckman, it's really where you see the success, because I feel like if Stuckman's Shelby Oaks was as big as a success as Iron Lung, he'd become a more pompous prick than he already is.
Probably, yeah.
But like Markiplier, you can just tell he's always been a genuine dude. Like I've been watching his content for 4 years at this point, on and off, which is why he always pops in my subscriptions tab. And yeah, I think that he's a really cool dude, but he's also like out of everyone's league in terms of like money, is like YouTuber wise. This dude makes I think he made 38 mil last year, which is crazy.
Well, he's got 38 million subscribers, so he's got 19 times the audience size of Chris Stuckman. Plus, as you said, a lot of people don't like Chris Stuckman. He's a boring bastard.
True.
So he's 19 times the size, and he's also got a lot more goodwill. So that's really going to help him, and it clearly has.
Does anyone know like roughly how much he would have had to pay to self-distribute?
I don't know, because theaters take 50% of the cut, don't they?
Right.
I don't know if that's the entire budget. That's how much it costs just to self-distribute. You basically convince so many theaters to do it on the promise of giving them half the movie's gross take. I don't know if there's any additional. There probably are some additional costs beyond that, but that's the figure that I have seen.
But this dude is making bank, man. Like, I'm happy to see that he's self-funding this stuff, because he's already done. I think this was 2 or 3 years ago. He did something called Markiplier in Space, or Space with Markiplier, something like that. It was like this 2-episode TV thing, and so like it's up on his YouTube channel, and you can tell that he has experience with being on set. So I actually am quite curious to see what he's done behind the camera, because a lot of people have been praising it in terms of direction, of course, and acting. I think that he's, well, from what I saw in those clips, he was pretty good back then. So I've been hearing that Iron Lung really does depend on if you see him as Markiplier on screen or if you see him as the character on screen, which I find quite
Gotcha.
interesting.
I'm hoping to go see this tomorrow for the $5 deal, or if not Wednesday, but it's on my list. I'm always down for supporting indie creators. I think that's a good way to send the right message. So
Is it playing in all of like your countries? Because
well,
the closest
Oh,
to
yeah.
me is Germany.
Canada gets lumped together with the US when it comes to North American box office and distribution. So my local theater is playing it. They're actually playing it like 4 times a day
Oh
right
wow.
now. Yeah. So
Damn.
Wow.
there's plenty of times for me to go.
That's actually really interesting that it's gotten so much screen time. Well, I mean, it doesn't have too much competition except for Send Help that we'll talk about later. But
Mhm.
I guess that would be it. Yeah, I think January was kind of like a perfect release window for Iron Lung with zero
Test the waters
competition.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm glad that he's making his money back.
Well, January's more TV shows like Fallout, Star Trek, and Knights of Seven Kingdoms. This is a movie. And as you said, Send Help's like the only movie that's out. So not much competition.
Mhm.
Yeah, Theodore Pinnock in the chat. Yeah, he says that he talked with a guy, and they didn't feel like they were watching Markiplier. So that's actually that's a very, very good thing. Very, very
Nice.
good thing. So
Yeah, there was a oh, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to go ahead because I wanted to give some Rotten Tomatoes statistics after. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I saw the controversy because they removed his movie off the domestic charts for like a day there. I think it was Saturday or Sunday they did that, and that it's back up there now. What was the deal with that? What's the suspected deal with that? Because I didn't watch his video on it.
So he basically said in the emergency live stream that it was a bit too close to Send Help. They were about $300 different in terms of what they had accumulated, and so the suspicion was kind of like they removed it because it was a bit too close for comfort in terms of just a random random YouTuber, one of the biggest, but still an independent thing, kind of reaching the Send Help levels of a big studio production. Now, in terms of like the weekend cume, there's I think 2 or almost 3 million difference, so they're kind of proud. So yeah, normal.
Gotcha. Okay, so it wasn't as big a deal as people were making it out to be, because I saw some people were like, "Oh, they're trying to crush the small man on the box office and stuff," and seems like there was a logical explanation.
Yeah, I think it was sort of that. Well, apparently that was it from what I saw on his emergency meeting live stream. But you know, we could all be mistaken. You know, it could have just been an actual bug from the numbers site. That could have been it.
Good point. Okay.
So yeah, but it's so for the Rotten Tomatoes stuff, it's quite interesting because so the critics' consensus is like 54%, but it only has 13 reviews, so it's like not really a lot. They had 7 rotten and 6 like normal. And then in terms of like the verified audience, it's at 89%, and all audiences at 92%. So it's interesting because even though we don't really consider Rotten Tomatoes as this, you know, very good metric, as we've said before in several streams and we've seen throughout the years, I do think that it is a representation of what the audience wants sometimes.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Although, to be fair, a lot of the audience will be his audience just trying to support him. So it's kind of hard to get a metric on both.
Good point.
I will agree with that. Yeah.
A lot of critics will be jealous, going, "Who the fuck's this YouTube? I'm a professional critic, and this YouTuber's making films. What I'm don't they want to make? Yeah, they'll do all. You'll have pretentious critics, and you'll have simp audience. So I think unless you go in yourself and see it, I don't know if the film's good or not.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But it's also interesting because like we've got into this era where YouTubers are back to making movies, which I find interesting. But it's a reversal of what we had back then. Because I remember I was really young at the time, so you guys may know more than me. But like when Logan Paul had that airplane movie with all the people from from Vine, back when Vine was a thing, and then there was also you guys don't know this.
I have never heard of this, but I probably wasn't on the internet at the time, so I don't know.
Wait, there's so Logan Paul and like Jake Paul and all the Vine people, like they made this weird airplane movie not too long ago. Yeah, Airplane Mode. That's what it's called. 1.9 out of 10 on IMDb. Holy shit. And also we had Fred, which was like the most subscribed YouTube channel back in the day.
I remember. Yeah,
there was Fred the movie. But basically, it was a time where it was the YouTuber that was selling the movie, not the movie being sold as its own thing. So I do think that it's interesting to see that the reversal that we have today with Stuckman and Markiplier, even though one is like here and there, So yeah, and yeah, Fred was a major studio production. It was.
It's funny the reaction because Markiplier's been on saying thank you, this is great, this is everything, and you see Chris Stuckman and he just went offline. He probably cutting himself off camera. I mean, he just looks sad and miserable because he knows that like his film sucks ass and it wasn't that profitable.
Yeah, barely profitable. I mean, it made, I want to say 5 million, and I think like the production budget was at 2.5 to 3, but then the studio obviously paid half of that. But then obviously if you factor in like theaters take off, and then obviously there was, I mean, I probably saw more marketing for that than I did for Iron Lung, so that the marketing and distribution would have cost more as well, and then everybody the studio employs would have cost more. It's like it was generally, I would imagine, way more expensive to make. So even if it nominally made a small profit, functionally, practically, in real terms, it probably didn't. Which is why he's now making all those gambling ads, right? Because he has to make money somewhere.
In the middle of a SpongeBob review.
Oh my God. How do you yeah, a debt collection agency is in the very next video. Fucking curse of the unintended narrative.
But that's an interesting point. They spent more on professional marketing. Markiplier didn't, but because it shows the reach of YouTube, because his one's been seen by way more people. Like professional, like if you see a professional advert, you skip over it. But if someone with 38 million subscribers has a film coming out, it's on the homepage. Like even people who aren't subscribed to him see a trailer about it, or they get told, oh, he's making a film. This big guy, this big YouTuber's making a movie. So maybe you should target ads more to YouTube instead of going the actual proper marketing strategy that the theaters do.
Yeah, the traditional route.
Yeah. I think we've discussed this before on a previous BSUP episode, but the people that are in charge of marketing don't understand that the demographic has severely switched. Like I think Minecraft did a relatively good job of marketing because they understood who their target audience was, so they leaned into that. Predator Badlands is a great example of one that didn't know their target audience, and they were doing TikTok trends in order to market the movie when that's never been the demographic for a Predator movie. So the marketing departments for all these movies don't understand the landscape has shifted. So I agree with you. Using YouTube is a lot better now.
Well, there's the interesting thing, because I think the story was it today or yesterday. It came out that obviously I gather that Americans are doing your stupid Super Bowl thing at some point in the very near future. And
go Pats! Let's go Pats.
Who? Pats?
The Patriots.
Pats? Oh, cool. I don't care. But they just announced because the Star Wars Mando and Grogu is getting a Super Bowl ad, but Doomsday and the new Spider-Man movie are not. I think I'm right in saying.
Yes.
And because those ads are like massively expensive, but then you sort of wonder, well, like, is that because they're trying to tailor ads more to specific? Like, do they think Avengers ads will run better on YouTube than Super Bowl? Is it not worth spending $10 million to get a Doomsday advert at the Super Bowl? It's a weird one because it is shifting quite quickly, and that disparity suggests they are sort of aware that there's a disparity, but like you don't. I can't quite figure out what their strategy with either of those films is.
I just don't think they have
enough. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't think they have a full grasp on the internet yet. Like they're starting to get it, but you need to be kind of grown up with it. And use every day. Yeah. So I think we're in a transitional phase of they'll do these Super Bowl things, but then they'll actually realize like the Marvel channel has about 20 million, 30 million subscribers. It's got a lot of that type of shit and it also gets circulated on Twitter very quickly. Like you don't even have to have a big channel. Other big channels can do your advertisement for you.
Yeah, and it does work as well. Yeah, because I don't know the chair stream they did for Doomsday and stuff that got quite a lot of views for some inexplicable reason. So I guess they maybe use that as a test case to say like this is a viable marketing strategy for the movie is to focus on that Marvel YouTube channel because it's got quite high engagement. Unlike Paramount Plus or whatever it is doing Starfleet Academy on YouTube when like the Star Trek like target audience is roughly over the age of 70 at this point and not on YouTube. So obviously it didn't get any viewers. But then that kind of just tells you maybe that's why, because they're doing Mando and Grogu at the Super Bowl. So maybe they think the demographic that likes Star Wars is also the demographic that likes non-football. That's a curious decision.
I think Mando and Grogu is in such a bad place because I think 4 months the trailer's been out. It's only got 11 million views. He-Man's been out a week, has got 30-something million, has got 3 times the amount in a week.
Yeah.
So I think the Super Bowl is like, we really need to get people to see this movie. It's like $150-200 million. And it looks like it might not even make 300-400 million.
Yeah, because Super Bowl, I think it's 10 million for 30 seconds of ad time.
Oh
yeah,
Jesus.
Super Bowl is expensive, dude.
Plus, if Mando and Grogu fails, will this kill Dave Filoni's
Well, they've already said that, haven't they? If this movie bums, what they'll do is they'll move the movie he's supposed to be doing onto Disney Plus and make it a show instead. And I'm trying to work out which of these scenarios I hate the most. A movie would be quicker, so I hope it's that. But then I want him to fail like 2 months after he got promoted. So yeah,
it's weird. So I am kind of I understand Marvel not going to the Super Bowl because they don't really need that kind of advertisement anymore. People are just like, especially for something like Spider-Man Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday, I don't think they really need to advertise that. I think that's like self-advertising in comparison to, let's say, like if they had Captain Marvel coming out at this time, where that I could see them doing a Super Bowl commercial for. But yeah, it's kind of weird the restraint that they have with the Spider-Man Brand New Day thing, not even showing a snippet. So it's to the point where I'm really thinking, is this movie cooked or something? Because it's coming out in July, man.
No,
I don't think they're done
did that with, they did the same thing with No Way Home. You saw a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and then you didn't see trailers until a couple months before the movie, really.
Oh, really?
I think it's a good strategy because look at Doomsday. Like, Robbie Downey Jr. got revealed and all the energy's gone. Nobody gives a shit.
They blew their load way too early for Doomsday. That chair reveal should not have come as early as it did. That's the type of thing you do around Super Bowl. Do that shit around the Super Bowl. Don't do it. What, we got it in April of last year?
What, Super Bowl?
Yeah, must be.
No, the Doomsday chair reveal.
Yeah, it was really early last year, but that was when they thought it was they were somehow going to be able to release it way earlier than it turns out. Because it turns out actually, you can't make a movie without a finished script yet, and actually you can't work Vietnamese children too hard in sweatshops.
Yes, you can. It's called Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, fair point.
No, it's also called the Twilight Zone movie. That's kind of dark, but oh man, yeah. Oh, but yeah, I wonder. I really wonder what the Super Bowl is gonna be like. Because the only reason why I'm interested in the Super Bowl is a French person who doesn't really give a fuck about the NFL. Sorry to all my Americans, on the panel in the chat, but sorry, cynic.
Don't apologize. They need to learn.
Isn't it called the World Series and it's only America?
That's baseball, I think, and it's America and Japan and maybe
but
Canada.
I don't watch baseball, so you can shit on that if you want.
Dude. The only reason why I started watching baseball was Ohtani. That was it, because he was electric, dude. That was nice.
No idea who that is, but I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, I think that's kind of it about Iron Lung, I guess.
Yep.
I don't have anything else
20
to
minutes
say.
is pretty good considering no one saw it.
No one. It's an in-depth review.
I'm probably gonna have to play it as well this week, play and watch it. But I gather because it is a game and the game is only like an hour to complete, right? So it's pretty short. I know like literally nothing about it, but then I'd never heard of him until like everyone was saying, "Oh, he's making a movie." I was like, "Who is he?" Wait, you don't know who Markiplier is? No. Aren't you a YouTuber? Yeah. Oh. Well.
That's
I can say it now. I don't know who Markiplier is either.
No.
Hey.
That's the beauty of YouTube compared to something like Twitch, YouTube has so many people. Like, you can probably find someone with like 30 million subs and you never knew about them at all. And it's like, that's the beauty of YouTube. It's like everyone has their own pocket of creativity and their own audience, which I think is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm not taking that. You haven't heard
Really?
of Markiplier? What the fuck?
No.
He's like one of the OG like staple YouTubers on the platform.
Yeah, but I never even used YouTube until I started making stuff on YouTube. So it was like,
I'm with Platoon.
well,
I'm with
I
Platoon,
missed everything.
Same.
I started watching YouTube in 2020, dude. Like,
Yeah, just during the lockdown because I had nothing else to do.
The extent of which I knew YouTube before then were honest trailers and how it should have ended. That was it. Because I had limited internet back in Ghana, so that was like the only thing I'd use my internet for.
So you've got that's a valid excuse, I think. Like having cheap internet is an excuse. Whereas like my entire familiarity with it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which was funny. And then like I had a flatmate who was really into Let's Plays, and I said, "What's a Let's Play?" He's like, "Oh, I watched someone play a video game." So, well, that sounds gay as fuck. Why don't you just play it? But they were really, really popular for some inexplicable reason. So I just assumed that all of YouTube was that equivalent level of pointless content as a substitute for you actually getting off your ass and doing something yourself. So I didn't look at it. Turns out it was a really good platform, and I just missed all of this wonderful internet culture.
Damn.
Yeah, like internet culture is interesting. Like all I know about internet culture was culminated back in 2020. Like from 2020 to now, it's basically everything I've learned about internet culture.
Yeah,
that's kind of it. People are saying in the chat like Red Letter Media and stuff, Cinema Sins. Nah, man, I'm telling you, the extent of my knowledge was honest trailers. How it should have ended. Done.
All I knew
and then
was
watching
epic
trailers.
rap battles of history.
Why?
That's all I knew about YouTube until like 2020. Yeah.
Well, I mostly just listened to music, and that was it. That was basically never used YouTube other than that. I will. It's like as Platoon said, I had the games, so I never watched people play them. I just played them.
Yeah.
Fair. All right.
Well, this show you guys are watching, at least more than Iron Lung. I do know that.
So much enthusiasm. I love it, Cynic. I love it.
Yeah.
Click the fucking links I sent you. They're there. They're uploaded.
So short as well, like 25 minutes long, 25 to 30. And it is pretty.
Are
good
they
as well.
actually short like that?
Yeah. There's like
dude.
around half an hour, like slightly less. I think if you like take away the credits, they're short little episodes. Like that was one of the biggest things when it first came out. Was is there enough in any individual episode to keep people hooked? But actually, turns out there is, because leaving people wanting a lot more is a good sign for a TV show.
By the way, just wanted to say, if you guys hear like any rain or something, let me know so I can close my windows, because I have a huge thunderstorm that's raging outside. So I don't know if it's coming into the mic or not.
I haven't noticed, but then I have a cold and my ears are stuffy.
Hit by a lightning bolt, and fucking power goes out.
Oh shit, that could actually be possible. Last time I had a thunderstorm, Vex, I was supposed to be on Nadia's stream, a fucking 2-ton tree destroyed. Destroyed the power lines, dude. It was so bad. I was like, fuck.
I remember that. I was like, dude, are you okay? Did you die or something? I was kind of concerned for you.
But yeah, so who on the panel has seen the episode 3 of Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
Yes. So that as it released today. Still going well, yeah. Still enjoying it. There's not much bad to say about it, I don't think. I mean, obviously, this is the episode where, spoilers for anyone in chat, you have literally now to fuck off. So this is the episode where you discover that Egg is actually Aegon. He's pretty important. He's a little Targaryen kid. He's the missing kid. As though that wasn't already quite clear based on everything that you've been watching. And yeah, obviously you see like more of the jousting action. There's more like interaction as well with some of the older Targaryens, and it's great because you see the declining respect that the royal family has throughout Westeros at this time, where people are no longer quite so scared to show their disdain when a Targaryen does something which is famously unpleasant. They're kind of a bit bored of putting up with their shit now. So you get like there's like mini riot scene. One of them after dude is a
Dunk has that conversation with that knight who basically calls them fucking aliens who invaded and enslaved their people and stuff. Yeah, sorry, I got a bit carried away there.
Yeah, I think
There's a
the
good-
episode was real. Oh, go ahead, Reaper.
I was saying there's a good line where he says the next Targaryen should do us a favor and just whip it out and splurge on the tits instead.
But yeah, I really like the dialogue in this episode in particular, especially on the you see when they're convincing Dunk to basically bribe, like they're kind of bribing him to take out the other guy and take his place. Hey, Cannoli, how you doing, man? Soccer is gay, man. Fuck you, Cannoli.
How dare you?
I love you, but fuck you.
Hey, Cannoli. Oh, fuck you, man.
But yeah, I just think that scene alone, if you show it to someone who is sort of on the fence, the subtlety in the dialogue is really, really well made, and even the subtlety in the acting. I mean, just the beginning with the horse and Egg just training the horse, really showing you that he's there for Dunk, just gives you so much character.
What the
And
fuck are
even
these
the,
names?
Yeah, Dunk and Egg, dude. Well, he looks like an egg. What do you mean?
That's the name you
What's
got
the
because he's
technical-
bald.
Yeah.
Because he's shaved his head obviously to hide the fact that he's got this Targaryen hair. So like the nickname is Egg, but obviously the full name is Aegon. But then if he called himself Aegon, everyone would know who he was. Dunk is Duncan. So but the abbreviation is Duncan and Egg. But that's sort of like that is the general tone of this show. This is not sort of, I mean, it's set in a grand sort of high fantasy setting, but its tone is not self-serious, generic sort of like trying too hard kind of fantasy. That this is a quite rustic, quite simple tale about basically just the values of heroism, which is another nice change because that is, as has been mentioned, as we've previously discussed it's kind of the theme of this entire story is that this is not really about cynicism and it's not really about massive power politics, though little bits of that come in. It's primarily about a good, well-meaning, basic and not particularly bright but fundamentally decent knight who's trying to make his way. And that sort of comes out episode 3. Obviously, he's offered the chance to partake in a little bit of their kind of bribery, a little bit of a con job, because the guy who's put on the tournament has spent too much on his daughter's wedding and desperately needs some money back. So Dunk is offered the chance to make a load of money for himself by knocking the Lord's son off his horse, because no one would expect that to happen. And it's kind of, that's what it's doing, is setting up the even grander level of skullduggery, which will happen later in the show. But it's a great little introduction to it because it's like your first. It certainly is Duncan's first introduction, but it's kind of the audience's teeing off point as things start to ramp up a little bit. You start learning that a lot of the people around that you're taught to look up to are not particularly worth looking up to, that there are some around. It starts small and will get quite a bit bigger, but all the tests effectively that Dunk has to go through are kind of like, are you still a decent human being? Can you say no to the prospect of money even though you're so poor? Are you basically what a knight should be, or what a knight usually is in this world? And it's not really much of a spoiler to say that he will stick to his guns. That's kind of fundamental to his character, which makes it nice and uplifting as opposed to cynical and depressing.
Well, the only what was really interesting is when they come across that like soothsayer, and she goes, "You'll be rich than a Lannister. You'll be great than everyone." And then it comes to Egg, and she says, "Well, as you said, spoilers. You're going to die horribly, and people are going to rejoice when you go." Which is like, how does the story may not turn out? Well, it's George R. R. Martin.
Well, you already know it doesn't, because
depressing.
it's a bit like in Game of Thrones when you if you remember what Mr. Aemon says, that you do already know who Egg is if you remember that scene in Game of Thrones. But then also same thing, you already know how House of the Dragon is going to end if you remember the equivalent, or the scene where it's referenced to Game of Thrones because Joffrey talks about it. And similarly with Dunk and Egg, you know how this is going to end in Summerhall if you remember what was said about it in the later show. But because those conversations in Game of Thrones were never really the point on subject of any particular scene, it sort of works because people who are really, really into it will remember and already know, but then they've probably read the books anyway, and everybody else, it will still function as a kind of a surprise in the journey. It's a spoiler, but not a massive one.
I suppose the actual what will be worth seeing is how they transform Egg into the person he's described into at the end, and if it's believable.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He seems really nice now. I mean, he's got years and years to grow up to, so there's plenty of things they can do.
But it's also, The other
Sorry,
part
go
of the what you see in this is that he doesn't necessarily need to become a bad king, and from what I remember of the books, he kind of doesn't. But because what Night of the Seven Kingdoms is showing you is that people hate the Targaryens as a whole. People are ready for the Targaryen era to be over. And they will rejoice when the Targaryen era is over. It doesn't actually matter if the Targaryen king happens to be good at the time. They will still rejoice in his failure. So they don't have to turn Egg into like a monarch of the kind of Joffrey or Daenerys for people to celebrate. They will celebrate because it's a hated Targaryen who's just died.
Like that makes a lot more sense, and I like that, because if he just goes, "I'm going to eat children," it's like, okay, that's kind of silly. They do a Daenerys twist where he's going, "Listen, I'm putting babies in fertilizer." Like at that point, you just go, "What the fuck is this?" It's just Game of Thrones all over again. I hope,
like,
but as you said, they haven't writ the ending, so it could turn out that way. George hasn't finished the books.
True, that is true. But if the point is that Dunk sort of stays the same, then, and he remains a loyal, well, he will become a loyal member of the King's Guard and will be there right until the end. You would sort of expect him to have left if Egg had become someone that he's not. If it was like intolerable to his value set, because that's kind of the point of Dunk, is that he actually doesn't put up with this, and you see a bit of that in episode 3 as well, as the actress is getting abused, and a great potential cost to himself. He steps in to break up the fight, punching a member of the royal family, even though it almost certainly means a horrible death. So I don't imagine, and also like George R. R. Martin writes these stories precisely because he doesn't he's obviously sick and tired of the actual mainline stories. These are kind of his own escape from the escapism that he was creating. So I don't see him turning Egg into a dick.
Well, what happens if these people go, when are you going to finish Dunk and Egg? And he goes, "Oh, I'm going to escape into another story." And he just keeps making these half stories non-stop.
Yeah, I just think that George R. R. Martin at this point, people will just come to the consensus that he's never going to finish it. Never going to finish Game of Thrones. Like never. He's just going to wait.
Doesn't want to either. Like I finished Dance with Dragons a couple of days ago. Finally, because I've now read everything there is to read that he's written so far. Like what his attitude is, because of the last Daenerys chapter, which is basically the last main chapter of the last book that he's written. The entire thing is just, oh god, she's covered in ants and they're biting her, and now she's walking with blisters, and now she's shitting herself, and she's been poisoned by berries, and everything's horrible and awful. And it's like, you just hate this, don't you, George? I can tell. I can read it through your character. This is just a trial of torment, which means that this is talking about your experience, not hers at this point.
But can he outsource this stuff? Like maybe give an outline? Do you even think that he has an outline ready for the ending?
I think we saw it.
Maybe. I mean, he said it's going to be markedly different, but then he's also described that his writing process, he describes himself as a gardener of a writer, which is like some people lay out everything meticulously and they stick to the plan and to their deadlines. And so that you can actually, you can say from the plan, this is exactly what's going to happen. But whereas the gardener approach he takes is very much like there's a broad outline of where he wants things to end up, and he sort of close vaguely to it, but he also allows different characters to pop up to do different things and allows them to direct the story to some degree. I think one of the last things he said about the writing process is that like he'd written this whole Tyrion chapter because he really liked it, but then he had to scrap it because it would change the entire ending that he did have in mind, and that would just take too much time to fix. So the progress he has made is not progress at all because he's trying to write a different book again.
I think he's wrote the ending about like 3 times and he can't get it to work.
Yeah.
Because he's changing it 5 books in or 6 books into like a 7-part series. Nobody could do that. That's like after 2 Towers, you go, right, I have to change Return of the King completely and make it fit.
Yeah, it's like he's never gonna end this. I just hope the Night of the Seven Kingdoms actually has a proper ending because I'm investing my time into this. I'm really there for the characters.
It doesn't, not yet anyway. Because he's written 3, but 3 of them are complete. He said he wouldn't write anymore till he's finished Winds of Winter. He's probably lying about that. He said he's handed the outlines for basically another 12 to the showrunner for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but then the showrunner wants to do one of these every year. So if it's one novella every year, we're going to run out of source material in 2027.
Oof. Yeah.
Because the odds of George publishing another one before 2027 are pretty small. So eventually, yes, we will. And like a part of the strength of this show at the moment is that it does stick pretty religiously to not only the plot of the book, but even the dialogue of the book, which is kind of why it works, because it has all been thought about before now. So there will come a point quite quickly where it now moves beyond once again. And will George write any more once it's moved beyond, or will he lose interest again? Probably that.
How old is George R. R. Martin?
77 or something.
Yeah.
77, and he's not looking healthy, man.
Well, that's everyone keeps saying to him. Everyone goes, George, finish the books because you're going to be dead soon. And it's like, ugh, that's not really a great motivator. He wants to just enjoy. Because
Dead by 2027.
But like, we're trying to sell us the cynic, going, cynic, you should watch this. Oh yeah, he's also ran into the same problem he did in Game of Thrones, where everyone was disappointed. I think we're doing a great job selling it.
So one thing I do like about the way that the Night of the Seven Kingdoms is like actually filmed, like from a technical aspect, I really do like the 2-to-1 aspect ratio that they do. You have a tiny bit of black bars at the top and at the bottom for those of you in the chat and maybe on the panel who are not familiar with aspect ratios. I do like it because it really gives you the personal aspect of Dunk and Egg, because the characters are close up, but you also have the really good depth of field that you can get from, whenever they're doing the actual tournament scenes. So I do think that from a technical aspect, like the show is really, really good. And it deserves to be watched for that as well. But
what did everyone think about the tourney compared to House of the Dragon? Because in House of the Dragon, when they're having jousting matches, they just get up and murder each other. Whereas this one seems a lot more realistic, where a guy will get like a stray thing in the eye, or a horse will be targeted, and some guy's leg will be broken. Because I thought that was a bit unrealistic about the first one in House of the Dragon, because people get knocked off the horses and they were literally beating each other to death. I was like,
I mean, there's a degree to which that is just that's kind of, well, it's Daemon is primarily the one who does that, and Daemon, obviously being a Targaryen prince, can do kind of whatever the fuck he wants. No one's going to stop him. I think there was another fight in an earlier joust in House of the Dragon, which is broken up. So it's like, well, these are soldiers and warriors, and like their impulse is to try and kill each other. But like, if it's not a prince, then they will get broken up. If it is a prince, you wouldn't necessarily dare do that.
Yeah. But I was just thinking more like, because nobles like actively murdering each other would cause so much shit to happen in House of the Dragon, which it kind of, it's more just, it's because Rhaenyra, what's her name? Fucking the auntie, she's married to the black guy. Oh, she dies in season 2. I can't remember her name. Rhaenys. When all the men are murdering each other, it's more just to get so she can give a speech about like, oh, men and they're stupid and stuff. Whereas this one seems more realistic, like, oh, don't actually let them kill each other because it'll cause blood feuds and everything. Like, let's separate them.
Yeah, and there's the other thing as well, which is that, so like, obviously in House of the Dragon, it's not only that Daemon is a prince, but it's also that it's Christian Cole that he goes against, isn't it? And he's not exactly a highborn son of a very important lord. So it's like it doesn't matter so much in that sense. From one perspective, it's not really an instance of high politics. You would assume that if it had actually been a fight between someone that the Targaryen family needed a firm alliance with, then maybe that would have been broken up earlier. But
like, there's a scene where it's just a bunch of random knights that are literally like putting axes into each other's heads, and I was like, whoa, that's a bit.
So there will be something similar-ish later in the Seven Kingdoms, because there's the difference between the strict jousting tournament, which is what we've seen so far, but then there's also a melee, which will be, I think it sort of kicks off as a jousting thing, but then the fighting is allowed to continue explicitly after the jousting portion is over. It's more like a recreation of an actual battle scene, but because they're using actual weapons, of course, it is functionally speaking an actual battle. Somebody quite important might come a cropper of that at some point.
Yeah, like I feel like this show will do it more realistically, where it's an accident. Like someone will get hit in the head, and the head will, like, you know what I mean? They'll fall on a rock, or it's not like I came in and as you fell over, I stuck a knife through your eye. Like that one's like murder.
That is an uncanny prediction, but I won't say who. But that will happen.
But that's the thing. It's like, well, guessing on George's writing and the fact that the only good Targaryen, I'm guessing something's going to happen to him.
No comment.
Egg becomes king. I'm pretty sure the dark-haired Targaryens have got to go. That entire line has got to go away. and that prick Targaryen, he's got to die somehow for Egg to be king. So I'm guessing a lot of them die.
Maybe.
maybe not. But yeah, for those of you who in the chat maybe who aren't watching the show or who are on the fence after Game of Thrones season 8 and who haven't seen House of the Dragon, I do recommend Knights of the Seven Kingdoms. For now, I think I'll reserve my proper judgment after the proper end of season 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for now it's definitely worth your time because it does a lot of things quite unique, not only to Game of Thrones, but things that are quite difficult to do in general in terms of movies or TV show, which is having that consistent tone and the tone mesh, of course, with the comedy and the tragic aspects of the show. And I think that watching it just to appreciate that as well is a plus. So yeah. But yeah,
I'll see it at some point.
No, you won't. No, you won't. You always say you do.
in 3 years, you watch it.
Yeah,
Every
at
word
some
out of his
point.
mouth was a lie.
In other news, Catherine O'Hara has sadly passed away at the age of 71. A little young there.
Very young.
Yeah,
Mhm.
young. Yep.
Someone told me on Mr. Brown's yesterday that she had a lot of like health issues. Like apparently she was
Oh.
born with like some of her organs backwards, and she had something else going on. So it was kind of like she wasn't destined to have a long life. But either way, yes, very sad. Still too soon to make jokes, though, from my understanding. So I will refrain.
Give me a second. I'll think of something.
Yeah,
I actually don't know who she. Who is she?
She was
What's she been
in the
that
last.
for?
Home
She was the
Alone.
therapist.
the mom from Home Alone. Basically.
Oh yeah.
God, I haven't seen that since I was like 2, so I don't remember that.
I just remember her being the therapist in The Last of Us season 2.
Oh, was that
the
her?
the last thing that she ever did actually was that.
No, that's
So.
depressing.
You ever see
Yeah.
Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice, no.
What? You haven't seen Beetlejuice Platoon?
No, it's the same thing when the second one
Weird.
came out. And it doesn't.
I'm with Platoon on
didn't
this,
hold my
yeah.
interest.
I'm a Platoon. Beetlejuice.
Dang. Okay.
But,
okay.
Yeah, so I only know her like in terms of live action from Home Alone, but the other things I know her from are animated movies. So like Chicken Little, Over the Hedge. I grew up watching that. A Monster
Nightmare
in
Before
Paris.
Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas as well. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I think she was in the Brother Bear sequel, if I remember correctly, but that went straight to video. So
She was
yeah.
she did a voice in Frankenweenie as well. I remember that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Frank and
Oh
Weenie.
yeah, she had a small role in fucking Argyle. She was like one of the CIA handlers, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, she
Did
did
anyone
do a
watch-
voice in The Wild Robot.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone watch Argyle?
Yes,
Nope.
I was promised Henry Cavill. That's why I watched it, and I
And you were
felt
bait and
so
switched.
utterly betrayed. Yes. I also found it ridiculous that a fat woman was a former spy. Like, really? Come on now. Come on.
Was it Bryce Dallas Howard?
Yeah, it's okay. Spoiler for people that didn't watch Argyle. So apparently, she's a writer, right? And she's like, "Oh my god, so quirky and like, oh, so relatable." And it turns out that she was actually like brainwashed, and she's a spy in hiding. So she starts doing like spy moves, and I'm like, Bryce, girl, you're like 220 pounds. No fucking way you were a spy doing all of this. I'm just saying, she looks good as a bigger girl, like, but I'm just, as a spy, you know, my brain is telling me that's not a spy body.
I think she looked really good in Jurassic World and Spider-Man 3. That's
Yeah.
probably-
Yeah.
That would be like the good middle. But yeah, R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara. Weirdly enough, I think so. The last TV show that she did was The Last of Us season 2, but the last movies that she did were The Wild Robot and the documentary on John Candy, who of course is also the late John Candy as well. So yeah, it's kind of weirdly poetic and tragic, I guess. So yeah, R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara.
Mm-hmm.
Send Help came out over the weekend. And as much shit as I gave this, apparently it's good. I don't know. I didn't race out to see it, let's say.
I did race out to see it. In fact, I
Okay.
rushed editing videos so I could go see this yesterday. It's disappointing.
In which ways for like is it disappointing in terms of a Raimi movie or just a movie in general?
Both. Are we okay with spoilers? There's
Oh,
really
yeah.
nothing to spoil. Okay, send help spoilers, everyone. So the premise is Rachel McAdams. She's been working as a strategic planner at this Fortune 500 company for 7 years. The boss was like promised her promotion to I think it was like VP or something like that because she's so good at her job or whatever. He ends up dying. Her son, Bradley, which is Dylan O'Brien's character, takes over, and he's just a little shit stain. He decides to promote his like golf buddy and frat brother instead, but he cons her and he's just like, listen, like just come with us on this trip to the Bangkok merger, and maybe you can prove to me that you're actually the right person to promote.
This sounds like Step Brothers. Come with me to the Catalina wine mixer.
Shit, you're not wrong.
The fuck?
So the plane goes down.
These helicopters.
The plane goes down for reasons or whatever. And so she and Bradley end up being the only ones surviving, and they're on this remote like Thai island. Setup is actually pretty good. It was meeting the expectation I had for the movie. The biggest problem is that the writers didn't know how to get from the setup to the ending that they desperately wanted. It was really obvious that they had planned those two things out, but didn't know how to fill in the gaps. So it does a really poor job at like expanding the character backstories. It does a really poor job of just being a basic survival film because Rachel McAdams' character was Linda. She's a really huge fan of Survivor, and she's an outdoor girl. So she has all these books on how to survive outdoors and how to identify animals and plants and all that stuff. So she has that knowledge. But given where they end up, just like everything that they could possibly need shows up on this island. Like at one point, she gets a knife somehow. And Bradley's like, where did you get that knife? And she's like, oh, you'd be surprised at what like washes up on the beach. And Bradley's like, okay. I'm like, dude, seriously? What? You're just gonna buy that?
Is there like a normal knife that you can find maybe from the cutlery from the plane?
It's like a
because it
fish
crashed,
knife.
or-
It's like a brand new proper fish knife. That's what she ends up finding, and it's not rusted or anything. It looks
So
brand
it's the
spanking
magic
new.
bullshit beach.
Yes, they like. There's plenty of food. Like they have all these tropical mangoes that it just happens to be that time of year where it's growing. Every single fish that she manages to catch is like totally edible. There's no issues to worry about there. They have plenty of clean drinking. Like there's no survival stakes whatsoever because she has that background. Coincidentally, therefore she can find everything they need. Like you see her fucking whittle a hat at one point in the film. I'm like, guys, come on.
Because
So-
you watch Castaway, and the interesting part is trying to see him make fire, do the
Right.
basic shit.
Exactly. It's seeing him get over that hurdle of like being a guy that's so comfortable in the corporate job and like being so set in like this is supposed to happen and this is supposed to happen, and him evolve by the end of the film into someone who's totally fine with just being completely wayward for the rest of his life, right? There's no stakes here whatsoever. Like the dynamic between Linda and Bradley doesn't really develop interestingly enough. There's stuff that they tease in the opening that they don't properly expand on because there's no survival element. There's literally no tension. And then they get okay, this is going to be really stupid, okay, when I say this. So at one point, because they spend like a month or so on this island is what they allude to.
Oh,
She
wow.
finds one of those like blue ringed octopuses, those tiny ones with the bright blue rings on them. It's the most poisonous octopus in the world. She manages to find one of these, we learn. She kills it and stores it for a week, hoping that she might need to use the poison it has eventually. But scientifically, that doesn't fucking work because when that octopus dies in the real world, the poison also dies with it because it's a bacteria that causes it.
Why would
Some-
you need poison? Like, what is there a reason? Or because like she's already got a knife. If she wants to kill him, she could stab him.
It's
And
to
if you
manipulate
poison-
him.
Huh?
What?
It's okay. So Linda is so in her element on this island that there's a point in the film where like a boat comes by and she doesn't tell Bradley about it, whatever, because she's not ready to leave. This is like 2 weeks in. So and it seems like she's trying to do everything she can to keep Bradley on the island, which is something they don't do a good job of exploring. So Bradley decides to like poison her with some berries one night so that he can take his like shitty man-made boat or whatever and try and escape the island in the middle of the fucking night. On top of that, he fails. So Linda decides to teach him a lesson. So she injects him with or not injects him, but like she feeds him some mango, and the mango is laced with that octopus's bacteria or whatever. And he gets completely paralyzed. By the way, one of the best performances I've seen of a paralyzed dude. Like, I bought it. I thought they really poisoned him on the set. It was that good. So she poisons him, and she's like, you know, Bradley, like, I used to have a dog when I was growing up. And like, you know, the only way to control a dog is to like neuter him. So she pretends to like cut off his balls, but really it's just like a rat that she cuts open. She's like, next time it'll be real. So she tries to threaten cutting his balls off. Anyways, just everything is really silly for the setup. Spoiler, it turns out that there was like a billionaire's mansion on the other side of the island that Linda like told them. Yeah, Linda told them not to go there. Yeah, because that's full of like poisonous bushes, Bradley. So like don't go over there, because she teaches him all the survival stuff. They end up there. There's this stupid cat and mouse like stalking thing that happens there. They get into a fist fight, which is kind of entertaining. But and then the whole point is, she kills him, and then she ends up seceding as the CEO of the company because no one else would know any better what happened.
Wait. So she's this employee that gets taken advantage of. She disappears in a crash, and then somehow, like 2 months later, she's CEO.
Yes.
But isn't it that he's the son of the dad?
Yes.
Isn't he? Who owns the company?
Yes.
So you go, hello. So random woman, my son died. He's on a plane with you. Would you like to take over my business?
Oh, well, he had died. The father had died. That's why Bradley, the son, had to take over the company, and why Linda was therefore not given the promotion. So the dad's not in the picture.
There's a board of directors who go, hang on, who the fuck is this woman?
Oh, coincidentally, they all die in the plane crash as well.
Yeah, but
what? Every board member is
like
on
the
one
dumbest
plane.
fucking thing I've heard. What?
They do like
really make sense.
When the ending happens on the island, they do a 1 year later thing, and then Linda is the CEO. But you're right, like the jump there doesn't make a lot of sense. I know that the trailer made it seem like this was really girl bossy. It actually wasn't very girl bossy. Like I will give it that. Rachel McAdams probably gives the best performance of her career in this movie, like because she's so typecast as like either the romantic lead or like this like the quirky cute girl next door. So it was nice to see her out of her normal range, and she sold it really well. But just they don't. Same like Dylan O'Brien, same thing. He did fucking amazing. So they really carry this
He's
film.
always amazing, dude.
He's good, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Dylan
a
O'Brien's
shame
underrated.
that the script didn't cook enough. Like it needed some more time. Like I think Castaway also really spoiled us for this genre because like this fucking pissed me off. So the shots where they have their shelter on the beach is filmed on an actual beach, but anytime they go into say like a little bit of the bush or they go onto a cliff, it switches immediately to either a set or a green screen. It's mostly a green screen. And even when we do the large pan out shots of the island, it's all green screen. And you think for a $60 million budget, like Influencer was able to fucking do it on like a budget of $25 million.
40,
there you go.
Million.
They were able to shoot on an actual location on an actual island in Thailand. So I don't understand why you needed to use green screen so much, because it wouldn't be hard for a lot of the environmental setup for some of the scenes that they wanted to happen here. So that was quite disappointing. And it also kind of took you out of the whole survival part of it. Like it broke the immersion there. Sam Raimi directing this it doesn't make any fucking difference. Like they do a little bit of those like Raimi-esque scares in there, and they don't fit in properly whatsoever. And they all feel totally recycled from Drag Me to Hell.
It does feel like Sam Raimi is starting to like lose it as a director, and people keep sucking the fart out of his asses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where there's like he does get fucked over by studio interference, but he is making like flop after flop now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So at what point do you stop making excuses for him?
Yeah.
I think the last thing that he produced that made a fair amount of money was Evil Dead Rise, you know? And even in comparison to this, it's kind of flopping hard because that was like the reason I bring up Evil Dead Rise is because that was one of the movies that actually had his name basically plastered everywhere because
Right.
Evil Dead franchise, of course. But like I was looking at the box office numbers from back then when it came out in 2023, and it's like it had like 40 million worldwide debut compared to this one, which is only at 28 million. And it's like it's not good in terms of the domestic to international ratio because this
No.
one only made like it's 28 million worldwide, but 20 million came from domestic, which
Mhm.
is
Ooh.
bad because this is like a worldwide release.
yeah.
It's even in cinemas here. It's quite bad. I don't think that it's gonna succeed in the second weekend. We'll have to see next week's show, of course, but
Well,
I doubt they'll have
Vex,
legs.
as Vex said, it looks like a girl boss film. Like outside of the West, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Also,
Like the Middle
Vex,
East don't care, Asia don't
Mhm.
care. Sorry, go on.
no, I just want to say, Vex, someone in the chat, I think it was Carlos Villatoro, he asked if there was a Bruce Campbell cameo.
There
Is
is,
there?
but it's not actually Bruce Campbell. So the father, Bradley's father, is Bruce Campbell. You see a photo of him in the office. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. This was just it's like this will probably end up by the end of the year being like my most disappointing movie because there was a lot of opportunity here. A lot of opportunity.
Like as you like the fish knife, you could have just took a piece of the plane, wrapped around like a leaf around it, and used that as a knife. You know, little
Well-
things like that actually show his survivability.
Right. And it's like even though the knife shows up, it's not really used for much of anything. Like you can tell it's only there because they want a knife fight to happen at some point, which one does. Like everything they introduce, it comes into play later and it's not in a very clever or ingenious way. Like she goes hunting at one point and you see her sharpen a spear or whatever. And just the way the entire thing goes down, I'm just like, girl, you're like fucking 95 pounds. There's no fucking way you're taking on this giant male boar so easily. Like it was pretty ridiculous.
She took on a boar.
Or
A boar, a fully
Holy
adult male
fuck, dude.
boar. Yes.
Oh no, that even
That would
I
kill her.
know. Yeah, you'd be fucked, dude.
it
It
killed
just-
it killed Robert Baratheon in Game of Thrones. Yeah, which Cynic would know if he watched it, but you know, we wouldn't get that reference. But
there's a scene too where like so Bradley's fiance comes like because Filthy Casual mentioned this, but Bradley's fiance comes looking for him and she's with like a Thai guide or whatever. And so she's just like because the movie has done such a poor job of painting Linda as a psycho, they just decide to let her kill these two totally innocent people that have never in their lives screwed her over like Bradley has. But
Wait,
she does.
what?
Yeah, she goes out of her way though to keep Bradley alive, only to eventually kill him anyways.
so like the whole film is supposed to be his slow descent into kind of like madness, or like what's
Bro, I don't even fucking know because it's not a thriller, it's not a horror movie, it's not a survival movie. It kind of does the comedy bit a little bit, which works in its favor because it doesn't feel totally out of place, but it's not well balanced even then with like a drama or action film. So I don't even know what the fuck this movie was.
It kind of seems like a shittier version of Triangle of Sadness, which came out not too long ago.
I'll have to add that to my list.
It's sort of same thing about like class thing. A lot of people like boat wrecks. They're all on an island, and it's basically up to like the help, you know, that know how to survive with these rich assholes, kind of like that. But yeah,
well, that's the thing. As you said with Castaway, it's like Castaway spoiled us. Whereas this film, like the tool should have played into it. Like having a knife makes you, even if you're a woman, puts you more dangerous than a man. It actually elevates you because that tool is an equalizer in terms of violence.
Right. It's just so disappointing. So, but great performances, like top tier performances.
all right. Oh, Wonder Man. Who has seen this? I have not. So
I
we can
watched
make this
all
quick
episodes.
because it's one of the most pointless things that has ever been put on television by anyone ever.
Did anyone else watch it?
Yes.
No.
All right, go ahead, Platoon. You take it away, sir.
No, genuinely, I'm struggling to think of a single thing to say about it. It's why, just why? Why does it exist?
Yeah.
Basic premise: it is nobody knows exactly when in time it's set, but vaguely current day MCU. Main character wants to be an actor, but for some fucking reason, someone has decided that if you have superpowers, you can't work in Hollywood. Great. So then he meets Ben Kingsley's character, the Mandarin from Iron Man 3. He's back, which is good because Ben Kingsley is an excellent actor, but which is bad because nobody else in the show is an excellent actor. And so he steals every single scene he's in. It's just like what they would call it. I imagine it's just like, oh, it's a love letter to Hollywood and acting. It's like, yeah, both of these things are very popular at the moment. There's a big market for actors telling each other how amazing being an actor is. And then he's being pursued by the Department of Damage Control, who's trying to, like, they have a private for-profit prison, and there's not enough, there's too many open spaces in it, so they need to chuck some people in there. So for some reason, they go after one very specific minor actor, and then at the end of the show, they say, oh, well, we didn't need him anyway. So it's like, right. So why does the show exist? What was the fucking point? It makes no sense. It's bad. It's terrible. It's awful. There's no point to it. Don't see it. It's like, I called my Echo video the most pointless video I have ever made, and I'm not making a video on this show, which tells you how pointless it is.
The entire setup for this, like aside from the acting, like to establish the whole superhero stakes, also doesn't make any sense. So since this is in the mainline MCU, we're assuming because the Mandarin comes back, I think that's a safe bet. That means they could have, like, the Hulkbuster exists, and that means that floating prison that the Sokovia Accords were, like, a part of is also still somewhere in the middle of the ocean. Why didn't they just find this guy, dart him, put him in the Hulkbuster, and then ship him out to the ocean? Done. You don't have to justify anything.
They have a new mega prison, which they introduced, I think, in Shang-Chi. So that's the one we're trying to film now. We forgot about the raft. The raft is no longer a thing. Though the raft was cooler because it's basically fucking Azkaban from Harry Potter. We're not doing that. But they unintentionally, though, the show does make quite a good argument for locking this man up forever, because like his superpowers are basically like he's one of probably the most powerful creatures in the entire MCU. Like he can just explode shit with his mind. He can fly. He's invincible. And he's managed to remain undercover this long, but it turns out it's incredibly easy to make him explode, and the risks of him exploding are significant. At one point, he goes to his his family home, and like his brother mildly needles him about like a kitchen, and so he just blows up. He blows the entire kitchen up. It's like, well, it's only by luck that none of your family members died, but you're supposed to be telling me that locking you up is bad? You're dangerously unpredictable. It kind of makes me wonder why we aren't doing this to all of the mutants, and why it only applies to mutants who want to be actors. What are we doing? Why this makes no sense.
I was equally confused as to like the all the side characters in this in this show acknowledge that Ben Kingsley was the Mandarin, and they don't fully recognize that he was an actor. And the way that character was introduced in Iron Man 3 is, oh, he was just an actor. He didn't actually know what was going on. But then in episode 7, he has all the tools to make the Mandarin videos anyways. And he just had the costume at his disposal too. So that means that everyone in LA was just like, oh, we're totally fine with this fucking terrorist that killed a dude on live TV, just walking around in public and now hanging around the next leading man of a huge director's movie and the next big superhero film.
Because that is like the mad nonsensical premise of the thing is that the Mandarin he is actually a terrorist. He was an actor. He didn't entirely know what was going on, but he knew enough and was involved enough for us to say, no, he was just a terrorist. Like this man's allowed on airplanes. This man's like, people approach him for selfies in the street. He gets all the auditions for the roles. It's like casting Osama bin Laden in Avengers Doomsday. It's insane. But the Department of Damage Control, rather than just, I don't know, tapping Wonder Man's phone or interviewing his family or just asking him a mildly inconvenient question and waiting for him to blow up, decides, oh no, what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to find the Mandarin and we're going to pressure the Mandarin into spying for the Department of Damage Control on Wonder Man, who is no one's ever fucking heard of, and gain information that we will need so we can arrest him in the future. And we're going to use the Mandarin to do this for no particular reason. But then it's very clear all the way through the show that the Mandarin is like, well, he likes Wonder Man and he's kind of a nice dude now. So like he's obviously working against them. He breaks the wiretap that they give him. He doesn't do what they tell him to do all the way through. And then when Wonder Man gets like slightly annoyed at something and then just blows up an entire film set, the Mandarin decides to take the fall. He makes a video saying, haha, I am the Mandarin. I am back. Evil Western capitalism is spreading evil messages through Hollywood. And so I have taken a bomb to the heart of this imagination machine and I have blown it up. And like you're thinking from the Department of Damage Control perspective, you already know he's basically he's a turncoat. You already know why he's doing this. He's obviously doing this to cover for Wonder Man. But then that's when they say, yeah, we don't really care. We just need someone to put in the prison. Doesn't really matter who.
So what was the point?
What was the point? And then like the very end of the show, Wonder Man, like he goes on this long, stupid side quest where he's like, I'm going to pose, like I'm working on my next big film project and I'm going to be playing a prison guard. So I'm going to meet one of the prison guards at this maximum security prison. And I'm going to say, I need to shadow you so I can learn the role. And then somehow this gets him a job in the prison so he can go into the prison so he can rescue the Mandarin. And then he just explodes the wall and leaves. Why didn't you just explode the wall to get in? Why did you do any of this? You didn't need to do that.
Prove himself as an actor.
Yeah,
I think
apparently.
The best part of that final scene is so not only did they race swap this man, make him an angry black guy who's poor, but after he manages to harness his powers, he decides to use them for the first time to break a terrorist out of prison. But aside from that, the final episode does 3 fucking time skips. So we don't get to see how, because like the entire show is like, oh, he wants to get this Wonder Man role, and we see like a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for when you try out, like the tryouts for the part, right? We see a little. Thank you. We see a bit of the callback, but we don't actually see any of the filming of it, so they skip that. Then they skip ahead from between the premiere of the film to when he's shadowing a new project, like 6 months later. We just get like a 6 months later banner on the thing. And they also completely skip past how he manages to harness his powers, which the entire show doesn't really properly allude to either him knowing he has them or them just developing.
And also, like, it's worth saying as well, this precise power that he, because we have seen him just randomly explode. And so, like, it's fair enough. I can assume that he knows this is a thing he can do, and all he really needs to do to stop it is to control his emotions. But when he does lose control of his emotions, he still knows how to direct it, which is how he avoided accidentally killing his entire family. But then in the final scene of the show, it's like, oh, and by the way, I could fly now.
Yeah.
What?
Anyone glazing this is the best thing Marvel has put out is a fucking retard. Like, genuinely.
Well,
this show doesn't make a lick of sense.
Maybe, yeah. It doesn't make any sense. But the thing is, it probably is one of the better things they've put out, just because, like, by not trying to do anything, it avoids doing a lot of things wrong that other Marvel shows do. It's just an indictment on everything else Marvel has done that this is probably one of the better things, because it's fucking awful. It's just not quite as awful in so many ways as Ironheart was, for example.
This is going to be a really hot take, but I think Ironheart was better than this because at least Ironheart understood that you need to establish a character, of which Simon in this show is not one.
No. The main character in the show is the Mandarin, but then that's because originally they were making a Mandarin TV show and they decided to roll that into this one. But then, so he still is pretty much the main character, as well as having the best actor, and he has probably the most pronounced arc of any of the characters in this production. So, yeah, it's very, very messy. I think I'd rather rewatch Ironheart. This is just cripplingly dull. At least Ironheart's very funny. So more of that. If you're going to do anything, Marvel, do that.
Like the trailer for this, like you got the impression that they were going to talk about the race swapping of characters. Does that ever come up, or is it like just acknowledged?
No, there's a couple of like very Easter eggy things. Like someone on like a radio show asks if they're making this new Wonder Man film, and Wonder Man was in universe was like a 1960s, early 70s superhero show. So there's like a radio says, like, and fans are wondering how they'll update it for modern audiences. But that's kind of it. I don't remember any comment on the race swapping thing.
They don't. No. They don't even address it. Nope. It was just like, oh, they're looking for a new Wonder Man, and that's it. And then in doing that, they don't even ever at any point explore why Simon has such a close tie to the character of Wonder Man.
Like why he watched it in the cinema with his dad, and his dad died. But in the comics, as I understand it, Like, so you might be thinking, okay, obvious thing to do here. Well, maybe like, did he accidentally explode his dad? Was that something that when he first developed his superpowers as a kid, did he accidentally like kill his dad? Because like that would be cliche, but at least it would be relatively meaningful. No, his dad just dies of reasons at some point off screen. So now he just has this fond memory of seeing Wonder Man at the cinema with his dad, and that's why he wants to be Wonder Man. That's it. They didn't even do the obvious thing to make it a little bit more dramatic. It was just, nope, he just likes it. So
was he like an absentee father, and that was the only time he ever took him to the theaters?
No, that's the thing. He's just a nice guy. In the comics, on the other hand, I mean, I'm not very at all familiar with it, but from what I do remember, Fringy reading, so I didn't have to do it. Is in the comics, I think his dad is like abusive and an alcoholic, and they changed all of that because that would be again too dramatic and interesting. So now he's just generic nice man who died.
Huh.
Also, there's
Plus,
no.
it's like,
Go ahead.
sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just going to add. There's no additional stakes for him as a struggling actor, even though he's like almost 40. His single mom and brother pay all of his bills, so he doesn't really need to get an acting job, to be honest.
So he's rich. And he's 40 years old, and he's still a struggling actor.
Yep.
And no one's
Wonder Man
upset
is
to him.
his big break.
Get a fucking job.
Well, there's one scene where that almost does happen. So like he goes back home for his mum's birthday, and he takes the Mandarin because fuck it, why not? He's never met the family, and then like the older brother is kind of like the only almost character besides the Mandarin himself, and he's the only one in the show who basically says, it's a little bit weird that you invited Osama bin Laden to your mum's birthday. Don't think you should have done that. Also, why don't you get a real job? And that's what annoys him and causes him to blow up the entire kitchen, which is brand new, and the family's only just had it installed. So on top of everything, he's a dick. But everybody else doesn't react to that.
Oh,
At the end, do they say Wonder Man will return in Avengers Doomsday or anything like that?
Thankfully, no. We're never seeing him again ever. Despite this, we don't know exactly how much this show cost. It's quite clearly very cheap by Marvel standards. It's also really short. The episodes, I think, on average, again, 25, 28 minutes long without the credits, and there's 8 of them. So it's pretty short for a Marvel show. Now, having said that, there is not enough story for these. So of the 8 half-an-hour episodes, one of them is a filler episode, which is entirely in a flashback with like it's like, oh, why don't superheroes work in Hollywood anymore? And it turns out there was a guy called the Doorman who was played by possibly the worst actor I've ever seen on film. And like his power is that he can sort of like people could just go through him, and he saves some people from a club. But then one day, he gets cast in movies and shit. Then it goes wrong, and Josh Gad, who's in this for some reason, tries to go through him and then gets stuck in him and disappears forever. And that's why superheroes can't work in Hollywood anymore. That's an entire episode. And then it's sandwiched between 2 episodes which are not like bottle episodes, but nothing happens in them. So like there's one where some guys vaguely remember that more than 13 years ago, the Mandarin bought drugs from them, and now they want their money back. So they attack him, and then they get filmed by a passing child with a GoPro, and the entire episode is them going to try and get the GoPro before it can be uploaded onto YouTube and ruin their careers. And obviously they do. Like it makes nothing changes about the story or the plot. So we've already got 1 bottle episode, 2 at least completely inconsequential filler episodes, and that only leaves you with like 5 half-an-hour episodes, and there's still not enough story to fill those. So it's just bafflingly empty.
Even with that, like, because that filler episode is also supposed to be the explainer for his powers or whatever. Because the 3 episodes leading up to that, there's no point in which they hint or explore in any way that he's trying to control these powers or that he thinks of them as a significant issue. Then the filler Josh Gad episode happens. Then it's just like, oh my God, I can't try out for Wonder Man because of my powers. They just skip over an entire part of this character's story with a filler episode. Bruh.
Kind of sounds like a bunch of bullshit, man.
Absolute bullshit.
Yikes.
Maybe that's why actors like it, because it's incredibly rich, privileged people being subsidized to do acting all their lives and pretending that they struggled to get where they were.
Dude, The comment, why did someone come in a strawberry?
Listen, Valentine's Day is coming up, and like strawberries are a thing for romance. So
we actually have it over in England. It's a national delicacy. It is strawberries and cream. So
There
you
you
know
go.
that's where it
There
comes
you go.
from.
So
Have 'em on
I am
crumpets.
helping.
Yeah, England also
represent-
believed in spaghetti trees back in the 50s with BBC. So
Fuck is a spaghetti tree?
I've never heard of a spaghetti tree.
it's like the biggest hoax that the BBC ever did was saying the spaghetti trees were real. They were telling people like I think it was in the 50s to plant. They basically said get a tin of tomato sauce, put a spaghetti inside, and it'll spout trees. You guys should look this up. Like seriously, it was a huge.
He's
spaghetti
not
tree hoax.
wrong. Holy
Yeah.
shit! It was a April
yeah.
Fool's Day joke in 1957.
We didn't have spaghetti in England in 1957. Really?
No, spaghetti was a huge commodity back then. Like it was a privilege back then in the 50s for spaghetti. Seriously, like
Oh,
so
it's like-
people were actually calling into
you-
the BBC asking, "Hey, how do I grow my spaghetti tree?"
We were still rationing beef and sugar in 1954, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, random British knowledge.
Yeah, because like my mum said when she was like born in the 50s, she said she didn't see a banana till she was like 12 in like 1960. So
Dang. What else we got on the docket?
Well,
British
in
did
other
conquer all the
news,
flavors, dude.
Sydney Sweeney released a new lingerie line.
Yeah.
Are those claps or faps?
1 second,
Oh, claps.
almost done.
She's also in whatever that movie she's in, where she's apparently just naked basically the entire time. Is she
Housemaid,
just
I
a
think?
porn star?
Basically,
Like, that
and
seems
I'm
to
okay
be.
with it.
Well, I suppose so, but I'd kind of like to stop pretending she's an actor in that case.
She does play just like the same character in every role,
Oh,
and she
yeah.
seems to simulate a lot of sex. So like you could make an argument that she's basically a softcore porn star.
Well, it's the same like Jennifer Lawrence, where suddenly she was everywhere. I guarantee she's been slimed on by every producer in Hollywood. Like
Yeah.
she must have like just she's probably eaten about like 1,000 hot dogs in the past year alone.
You know, I wouldn't be
Slime
shocked because like the actress from what was it, Stranger Things season 4, she said that she left Hollywood because producers kept asking her to do, you know, weird shit. So I could believe that.
The cheerleader girl.
Yeah,
Can't
the
remember what her
cheerleader.
name
Yeah.
is. Is that why she
Yeah.
left?
Yeah, she said that the Hollywood, like the producers were asking her to do weird shit, so she just didn't feel comfortable. And
Well, that's suspicious.
Uh,
Had she been in anything except Stranger Things? Because that would narrow it down if she hadn't.
I don't think so. Now she does Twitch streaming. She just does gaming on Twitch. So yeah,
Oh.
but yeah, it's interesting.
Can I make a hot take? Okay, a rational take about this is not even a hot take. So
Mhm.
I went to go look at her lingerie line because she did like the whole photo shoot, and like the whole point was to have 4 or 5 different styles for like every type of girl or whatever. I have a feeling that she's just drop shipping this because she's only got the one style on the website. It's very unoriginal. It looks pretty cheaply made. Like you can buy Amazon versions of it for like a quarter of the price, basically. So I was just saying, like, and Sydney Sweeney, like, as much as guys love her, she doesn't have the female appeal whatsoever. So who's buying this?
That's so interesting. Yeah, she really doesn't have the female appeal, does she?
Right. Because, like, I was thinking, like, because every fucking celebrity has a lingerie or makeup line at this point, right? And, like, the top tier standard for celebrity lingerie is Rihanna's Savage line.
Mhm.
So I'm just thinking, like, if you're Sydney Sweeney and you've got that body, why aren't you trying to top Rihanna's line? What are we doing here, girl? So I think someone just paid her to be the face of this, or it's a drop ship.
Well, she also she did that stunt where she climbed the Hollywood's sign and put a bra
yeah.
on.
To promote this, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. Do they show her shirtless? No.
No, she's in
No,
like
oh,
sweats or
no.
something. Yeah.
Like, man, she throws off the bra. Well, at least show us when it isn't there. You know, come on.
I mean,
Why
she
is it
shows it in
that-
every movie she's in. So just watch
Yeah,
one of her
like-
movies.
Go see The Housemaid. She goes topless in that.
Dude,
Yeah.
Wiz Nilly P Yeah, Sweetie has no ass. I agree with him. Sweeney has no ass. Yep.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree. She's got enough ass for her figure.
Yeah, enough.
Nah.
She has enough.
She's not a
Well, she has to
pancake
have
ass man.
something because like, she has to have like some kind of counterweight. Otherwise, she'll just fall over forward.
She's like an elevator. Let me see. Sydney
But yeah,
Sweeney
it's kind of like Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney is kind of like a weird thing because I feel like her acting was way better at the beginning of her career, and it sort of fizzled out. And I don't think that she's you could even consider her a good actress anymore from what I've seen. And it's like,
I don't know. She was good in Christie, and that just came out.
Yeah, that seems to
But
be
is
the
that- was the-
outlier in her career.
like
Yeah.
that's the one thing that's like popping out, you know.
But
If
was
not, she
that
just
like?
play Sydney Sweeney? Oh,
It was
sorry,
a huge
Rico, go ahead.
failure, though.
But was that like the good writing and directing? Like Bill Burr is not a good actor, but he's decent in Breaking Bad because the dialogue he's working with is good. Is it kind of like that? Because is there any scenes that required her to like be very emotional or expressive?
Yeah, a couple times there are like big emotional payoffs and moments. So I would say it actually required talent, and she delivered in the movie.
Okay.
Also,
Have
I
you
don't think
seen-
her. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it's just that you mentioned that like her career is kind of fizzling, but she's announced for a lot of shit. She's in The Devil Wears Prada 2. The Housemaid 2 just got greenlit. She's in the upcoming Gundam live action that Netflix is doing.
Oh, for
Oh,
fuck's
yeah.
sake.
How could she
with,
fit in the
that guy?
How are you going to close the cockpit on a tits? They can't slam the door shut.
Your guess is as good as mine, but like her career hasn't slowed down at all. She's despite a lot of
well, no,
flops
because-
and failures.
Like she can actually get men to go to cinemas. It's like it's a very rare thing. It's not because she's talented. It's because like literally you could swap her face for a cardboard box and she would still have the same appeal.
Yep.
So that annoys
they've
me
done
though.
this-
I'd like to see a good live action Gundam, but telling
Well,
me
she's-
Sydney Sweeney's in it and it's on Netflix doesn't fill me with confidence.
Mhm.
It helps that she's not like, put off by men. That she's the anti Sabrina Carpenter,
Yeah,
Mm.
but again,
I can see
that raises the problem again for this lingerie line is women like Sabrina Carpenter. Women don't like
Right.
Sydney
And
Sweeney.
that's what's so weird is like Sabrina Carpenter has no male appeal at all.
Yeah.
She looks like a skeleton.
Actually, if you put her next to a picture of a young Hillary Clinton, it's a splitting image. They're the
Oh,
same
wow.
person.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Scary.
Oh yeah, you're right. She does.
But then I can
God, she's
imagine there's two use cases for the lingerie then. Either men buy it for their wives if they don't anticipate a divorce, but they will get that. Or women who are desperate to keep hold of their boyfriends buy it thinking they will look good in it but won't. And it's like, but in both
there's so
cases,
many
you're
options.
denying reality.
Again, it's a generic line though, so it's like men can buy the same thing for a better price anywhere else.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Yeah, but
if you go to
you
lingerie
underestimate though,
store-
because men have seen it on Sydney Sweeney, and men would like to sleep with Sydney Sweeney, and they subliminally understand that their girlfriends are not Sydney Sweeney. But it will be easier for them to imagine that she is if, like, she's wearing the lingerie which has her name on it. It's like
They all-
buying people's bathwater, but the male version. No, that is a male version. What am I talking about?
She would have
It's
made
the
more money
Stanley
just
Cup.
selling bathwater at this point, you know? Yeah, Stanley Cup is a good
I give
example.
it 5 years. When she starts approaching the wall, she'll be selling bathwater.
Well, they do this to all women actors. Like they push them and they're everywhere, and then when they reach about 30, they drop them like a bag of shit,
Yeah.
and then you never see them again.
And I think the only exceptions are like Zoe Saldana and Scarlett Johansson.
Anne Hathaway.
Nah, she hasn't really had a whole lot of roles though. She does one here or there, but her career isn't popping off. You know, she's not constantly
Yeah,
in the
no,
spotlight. Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, ScarJo got the Marvel deal, so that which that's like how many movies was she in that franchise? She was Black Widow like 20
Quite a lot,
times.
yeah.
It wasn't
So
a
I
lot
think
of
that-
films though she showed up in, and after the MCU, she actually disappeared for a couple years, and
Well,
then
she did,
her
but that's because she
revival.
was suing Disney, and
Yeah.
I would imagine was semi-blacklisted. But since then, she's gone into both Jurassic and DC. So
Yeah.
and she's still got evidently quite big appeal. Like she's in all the big franchise movies anyway.
She's in
coming up.
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she
in
got hired.
the Batman,
Batman.
2.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, and this is news to me. Yeah, I didn't know. The only thing I saw her in, apart from the MCU in like recent times, except for Jurassic World, of course, was Marriage Story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was really good in that. Really good.
She
in
was
that.
good in that. Yep.
Adam Driver was not in the wrong. That film is bullshit.
I agree with you, Reaper. Actually, I don't think he was in the wrong either.
I'd cheat on her if she was that annoying. I mean, she's fucking irritating in that movie.
Yeah, she is. I'll agree with you on that.
Like Surface said that she sold us a shitload of mid jeans, but American Eagle does both men's and women's clothing. So if you're a if you're a man buying it, that's still it evens out. It's fine.
What the fuck would I buy women's jeans?
Not, I'm saying she did the ad for American Eagle, but American Eagle doesn't just sell women's jeans.
Oh,
they
okay,
sell
yeah.
men's and women's jeans.
Yeah,
So
but
if you're-
those
Hit that
stores,
market.
something like only 20% of sales are from men's clothing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
when I
Okay.
used to work in,
men will
worked
be
at
buying
fucking
women's
Abercrombie
jeans for their
instead.
girlfriends. That's what's going to be happening. It's like the 80s version of asking your girlfriend to wear Princess Leia's metal bikini, and it's like you think that's going to be sexy, but in reality, you're going to get a slap.
It says Sydney Sweeney's campaign for American Eagle drove a significant boost in sales, 400 million increase.
But what was the split between women's clothing and men's clothing? That's what we want to know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
You want-
just go in any
not gonna tell me that.
retail shop, man. Like I used to work in clothing and stuff like that, dude. Like
Yeah.
80% of our store was women's clothing. Even me as a worker, it was hard for me to find men's stuff, even though we were supposed to be selling like both type of clothes. Like just in general, women's clothing.
because women
massive.
don't understand why men hate going shopping with them, and it's like, well, okay, last time we went shopping. It's like, well, you spent 5 hours going through the labyrinth of the female clothing aisles. And to get to the male clothing, I had to go down 4 flights of escalators into a sub basement and then through a disused toilet. And I found a small closet where there was a shirt. This is why
Basically.
one of the reasons we don't like going with you.
Have you
I have
seen-
a genuine question. Hold on. Is this the trigger story? Is this how you became gay, Platoon? You went
This
shopping
is
with
just-
a woman once?
Yeah,
Stop it.
basically, yes. Too much exposure to female lingerie does that.
But like, have you seen that comedian? He put a tracker on his wife, and you see him. He walks into the store, gets the jeans, leaves. It's a line in, line to the register, line out. His wife goes in, around, goes round the shop like 7 times, goes into the next store, doesn't buy anything, comes back into the same store she just left, doesn't buy anything, and then leaves.
Yeah. Like, my Christmas present to my mum was allowing her to take me clothes shopping.
Oh yeah, clothes shopping,
Dang.
man. It's like,
I will
dude, men,
tolerate your
we
presence.
just know what we want. We enter the store, grab it, then leave. Done.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to get a shirt, and I only get a shirt.
Yep.
Why would I go? Ooh, there's a Baskin Robbins next door. Let's go. It. No man has ever said that.
Dang.
Oh yeah, Melania. This movie,
Yeah.
this is a thing.
7% versus 99% on fucking
Both
audience
of them
score, but
Are
okay.
wrong.
I'm going to take a guess and say the 7% is closer, but yeah, both of them are wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
on
really,
IMDb, this has a 1.3 out of 10.
Oh yeah. Crazily enough, this is the highest ever paid. Oh, whoa, the highest ever paid price for a documentary. So I do have some numbers. So Amazon got it for 40 mil, and they added 35 mil of marketing. And keep in mind, it was on the cards for Disney, Netflix, or Paramount because they wanted the streaming rights. So Disney had offered 14 million initially, and then Amazon basically just came in and said, "Nah, fuck it, we're putting 40 mil on the table. We want this. We need this." It's like, I don't know, man. You could have just put 25 mil, and they would have probably just agreed, but they decided to
big
spend
dick
40
energy.
million. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
here's
crazy.
an extra 10. I've got all that money. Fuck you.
Did
And
anyone
Melania
watch
was
this?
actually no.
Sorry.
No, I don't care.
Okay.
But
I
She
don't
was
either.
what
paid
is
28 mil for the role.
what
Well,
is
for the
Melania's story? This orange guy came up. I sucked his dick, and then next thing you know, I'm married to him. Done.
Pretty much, yeah. She was a semi-sex worker / lingerie model at one
She
point
was a
before
sex
that.
worker?
She did.
Well.
I think there's rumors that she did some stripping, possible high-end escorting, but I've never like seen those rumors substantiated. But she did
No.
do some naughty modeling.
Oh, okay. So
Well,
yeah.
a lot of rich people do that. Like they get like these. They're not prostitutes, but they are prostitutes. They're just supermodels.
Pretty much.
They come
yeah.
in, they give them a proper good blowjob, and they go, "Well, I'm taking this horse home. I'm not leaving this here."
For those
The
of you who go watch this in the cinema, you can actually cop a Melania popcorn bucket for $12.99. So
Is it just a
so
mouth, a
stupid.
gaping mouth?
yeah.
the
You were
time-
gonna say something. Sorry.
No, the timing for this is just really funny because Brett Ratner just came up in the latest drop of the Stein Ep files once again.
How's Bretton? How does this dude even still have a career, man? It's crazy.
Oh, we can't talk about the Epstein files. Like
That's
the
why I said
stuff
Stein Ep, bruh.
we cannot mention anything in that. Jesus Christ. Like all the conspiracy theorists have went, "Oh my god, we were right. I don't know what to do now."
So this
The
is some
adrenochrome and everything. They were right.
so this is some info that I was looking up. Basically, they said Ratner was the only person considered for the job. This is like crazy. And I quote, so from Wikipedia, it's basically saying Trump held editorial control over the film and was involved with the trailer, color correction, selection of music, the advertising campaign, and the design. And he designed the logo. Like, what the fuck? I don't get this. So weird.
I heard, I read just on Twitter, so there's probably not a lot of fact behind this, but like all of the production crew isn't in the credits for this because they wanted to protect their names.
Yep. No, that is true. It's
Okay.
It's even in the Wikipedia article if you look it up.
Which
Yep.
is just kind of wild. Like, I don't care if you like or dislike Melania, but it's just a documentary, bro. Bruh, who cares?
Well, to these people, it's just virtue signaling. It's like, are you with me or against me? They're like Anakin. That's how they see everything. Even if they say, you're just a camera guy, you got hired to do it. The fact that you took a paying job is disloyalty to them. Which is fucking weird. They're like fucking, they're just insane people.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, I don't know. It follows the I think it's the 20 days before his initial presidency. There's an interesting story that you can tell with Melania. I think that she probably has a weird, like, interesting
like
life,
a rags to riches story you could probably tell. Yeah.
It's just weird, you know? It's like,
what's
all
the
right.
box office for this movie?
I didn't actually check. Actually, let me look it up.
You know, the ratings for this, they're just all over the place because on Metacritic, like the user score is 1.5 out of 10. But
you're not getting the truth.
Right, but you got it got an A cinema score and it has a 99% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I just don't understand what the fuck.
So 7 million is the box office for now.
Bruh, it cost, hold on.
75.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, $75 million.
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah, the
So-
40 million acquisition and the 35 production marketing, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then it's going to Prime later this year.
Maybe it's just
Well,
all
do you
one
think-
big elaborate scheme for, like, Jeff Bezos just wants a tariff exemption from Trump and he said, well, I'll give you a $75 million documentary on your wife. And Trump says, okay, no tariffs on Amazon products this year.
That is actually, like, well, not exactly what happened, but apparently that was how it was pitched. It was Bezos that pitched it to Melania when they were at Mar-a-Lago. And she was just like, all right, sure, why not?
What
And she
if
got paid. Then she got paid 28 million for this. So
Bezos probably bought it in exchange for having his name blacked out of the Steinet files. Maybe that's it. Because there's
Could
still
be.
a lot of black blocks in there.
But I don't
Well,
know.
if you read the Epstein files, you'll know Trump got 500 million. A UAE company gave him 500 million investment, and then suddenly he gives them secrets to American AI chips. I don't know if that's just a coincidence, but you know, we know he's not opposed to bribery.
This is just like
Anyway.
I mean, even like yeah, because like that's kind of like the only thing that you could logically think about this. Like, it's even weird that Disney and Netflix and Paramount wanted the streaming rights to this. You know, I don't know.
What
The
was
controversy is
fishy.
sales.
Who thought this was a good idea? Like,
Well, yeah,
no one finds this woman interesting. Even
I
if you
don't
like Trump, like she's not
maybe.
interesting.
Well, maybe it's like All's Fair, but like the opposite version. Like we watched it because it was horrendous. Maybe they watch it like out of hate. It's the opposite version of that. Maybe.
Can I make a really hot take? And I don't want to
Yeah.
piss anyone off when I say this. The MAGA crowd is pretty fucking stupid, so they will eat up whatever Trump and his team. But like honestly, the amount of MAGA cope I've been seeing over the Steinet files the last couple days is actually insane. So
Did you see one of the emails? It wasn't to anyone in particular, but Epstein said, "Hey, do you still have that picture where you look fat and retarded?"
a real Xbox gamer right there, man.
Oh yeah, like he had a Steam account, he had an Xbox Live account, and people are trying to add him on Xbox.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I just like
Oh.
it's just like the Democrat crowd. Like they eat up anything. The MAGA crowd is the exact same thing. So the reason this is getting the scores it is because the MAGA crowd will watch and love whatever he puts out. The anti-MAGA crowd will always hate whatever he puts out. So,
But why release this in cinemas? That's what I'm thinking. You know, Amazon has a streaming
Controversy.
service.
Well, you can always put it on the streaming service later on, so you make that money straight up, and then you can add it to your library.
yeah,
It's still a huge. Well, you know, it's Amazon, so yeah. I mean, I was gonna say it's still a loss of money to be able to, you know, put this in theaters, but you know,
Do we know
Amazon
how
has a
much it's
shit ton of
made
money.
in theaters yet?
Oh yeah, 7 mil.
7
Yeah, 7.
against a cost of what again?
75 million.
So that's not good.
No.
Yeah, it's quite bad. So that's why I'm thinking. It's like, yeah, well, it is Amazon. Yeah, as Jared said in the chat, it's Amazon. They lost nothing. They just have so much money overflowing that they can just put out bullshit in cinemas. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
Another funny thing about Epstein's Xbox Live account was that Bill Gates got an STD. He asked Epstein for medicine and to sneak wet medicine into his wife's
His
food
wife.
because he's probably give her an STD. He said, "No, I'm not doing that." And then Bill Gates banned his Xbox Live account.
That's wild. Did you guys see that someone actually found that gamer tag in their old Call of Duty
Yes.
World at War footage? Yeah. So you can see what Epstein was like in Call of Duty 15 years ago.
It's fucking hilarious, man. I mean, the worst part of all this is Elon is basically like, "Hey, dude, when you guys having a cool party, can I come to the party?"
He just
Like-
can't get invited to this party.
It's fucking crazy, man.
He's such a fucking loser. No one wants to invite him.
Oh
You
man.
can't come to the child island because you're not cool enough.
Elon's gonna rat us out. He needs to stay
Yeah,
on the island.
he's called the fire marshal and said there's too many people at the child islands.
Oh man.
It's weird because it's hilarious, then it's unbelievably evil, then it's
Yeah.
funny. It's just, because I think it's like they went, you have to release, I think it's like 6 million files, and we've only got 3 million. So it's everything ever like he's done. So
Pretty
loads of
much,
it, it's just
yeah.
random shit that he was just typing in. Like a lot of times, he would just email himself going, black people are better at sports, but they're not very good long term with knowledge. But to himself, he's not talking to anyone, but he's talking about race statistics. Oh, funny though.
Yeah, Melania is a flop. So there you go.
Talk about Epstein for half of it.
So this is not an actual photo of Lupita Nyong'o or whatever on the set. This is from 12 Years a Slave, but I still think it's a fair comparison because this is the exact aesthetic that Nolan is going for.
Wait, so is it a real photo from 12 Years a Slave?
That's a real photo.
Yeah.
It's just not what she will look like in the Odyssey, but it is actually her. And it's again like all the conversations about it are just exactly the same as all the other conversations that always come up. It's a bunch of people saying, well, it doesn't matter. Why do you care unless you're a racist? And it's, well, if it doesn't matter, then why did you change it? Well, obviously, it does matter to someone, which is why you make the unusual casting decision. And then it's, well, you only hate it because it's racist. No, because everyone hates the fucking armor as well. It's quite clearly a broader aesthetic verisimilitude point. It's incredibly boring and tiresome, and I don't like being in the position where I hate this movie so far in advance of its release, because I'm kind of expecting to hate it after it releases. And I'd be happy if that were the case, but it's a long time until it comes out for me to be annoyed by it.
Well, it's worse because you could have Nolan simps coming in their droves to defend it, even if it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But as a Frankie, someone in the chat, he said, "Is this still a rumor or confirmed?" It's still a rumor. We don't know if it's fully confirmed. Although with the casting list that we've received, I think it's either going to be her or maybe I guess Zendaya.
Zendaya's Athena.
Oh,
yeah, Zendaya's Athena. Yeah.
So you've got two horrendous castings of the women, but like even in Odysseus's crew, you've got like an Indian, an Asian, like some guy from Mexico. It's like, how does he get these people? And then they're all wearing that like cheap leather Spartan-ish armor, and it just looks generic.
I don't know. The casting is really off for the Odyssey. It's just weird. Really weird.
Ellen Page is a soldier.
Yeah.
5'5", woman to man Ellen Page is gonna be one of the people with swords fighting Cyclopses.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I really want to see the first proper like trailer where we see everyone in the characters that they're supposed to play, but it's just looking weird. It's looking fishy.
I'm actually not going to go watch this. I know that the tickets are all sold out in advance and all that stuff, and everyone's hype. But I won't be going to see this movie.
I'll get you a copy.
I have no interest.
I'm stealing it.
I'm not even going to watch a bootleg copy because I just don't think it's worth it. Like, I know this isn't going to be the type of like action epic that I enjoy already, just based on the little teasers that we've gotten. So I'm not interested.
Could play that Mongoloid from 300. Oh no.
But like, isn't Helen of Troy actually described and like by Homer as being fair-skinned and having light-colored hair and eyes?
Blue eyes, yeah.
Like she doesn't have to be blonde, but like
say, we can't find an actress who was born from an egg, so why do you care? And that's not the point, you fucking moron.
And people be going, she doesn't look like a German woman. And it's like, what the fuck? Because the actress here is German. And you all keep going, well, she looks German. I go, it doesn't. Number one, what the fuck does that mean? And two, she is portraying a character as she was described in the text. Like, I agree. Greeks weren't like all super white. There probably was a bit of variation. But Alexander the Great was blonde-haired.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking before hundreds of years of Ottoman colonization, before the Ottomans came in and browned it up a lot. Like they don't think anything through.
I don't know, man. Like I'm not going to war for Lupita. Like, even if she is looking as best as she can possibly, like, honestly, Lupita, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to war for you. No joke.
Like, she's not hideous, but she's not like a face that sailed 1,000 ships. Fuck no.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that she's like flat out ugly. I think that she's beautiful. I think that she's beautiful in some roles, but like, nah, man, I'm not going to war. Hell no.
And that's what it comes in the context as well of just years and years and years of specific like race casting being done for no other reason than to make a point. Now, I think she's a good actress, not best qualified to judge if she's an attractive actress. I could believe it if you tell me that. Fine. It's just like, it is a marked change from the historic material and from the storytelling and from every other adaptation. And it just seemed more like it's of a piece with the way that Hollywood casting has been, and people are kind of sick of it. Maybe if we hadn't had 10, 15 years of this being done terribly, people wouldn't be so annoyed at it. But usually when it happens, it's fucking awful, and you can tell why they did it. So you can't really blame people for pattern recognition. It's just seems like another attempt to say, hey, look how brilliant and wonderful we are, and now we've upped our quota of diverse people on screen so we can be nominated for an Oscar. Fuck you.
You think it's backlash to... you think it's backlash to like maybe Oppenheimer, because Oppenheimer was basically like a fully white cast?
I don't know.
I was going to say that like Oppenheimer, like as you said, fully white, and it was also, is it his most successful movie? Got like $1 billion.
Maybe Batman would.
I think The Dark Knight is more financially successful.
But I think it's like, yeah, true, but like
as a Nolan himself movie, yeah, I understand what you. I think Oppenheimer is like as a Nolan, like fully only Nolan project, no DC backing. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, like I like it might just be, like I understand maybe the Zendaya argument of she's popular, we can bring her audience to the cinema, but Lupita is just an actress. Like she doesn't have like Instagram followers or anything, so. I don't know. Maybe Maybe he just doesn't give a fuck. He just went, I don't care.
I think the difference here is maybe it's just like, oh, it's not actually history. It's just a fable. So I can play around with it versus Oppenheimer, where it's like, oh, this was a real historical event and these were real people.
Yeah.
Possibly.
But even then, no, it's like Greek people exist. Right. And they're distinct. And like, I think he just doesn't care. I think he's more, because he said, he just keeps talking about, I filmed the whole thing in IMAX, and that's all, that's all he's talking about, really.
I wonder if this is going to be a bit conspiracy theory, right? Because I was talking to George the other day, and he was mentioning how like all these actors are suddenly repeating the same lies about the ice stuff or whatever. And then at the same time, they're all trying to get movies sold to like major distributors. So I'm wondering if Nolan has kind of sold out the casting in order to like ensure some sort of Oscar nomination or award season guarantee.
That's a good theory.
Well, didn't Oppenheimer win any awards?
It won Best Director. Yeah, it did pretty well at the Oscars.
I think it cleaned up,
but it didn't have a lot of competition that year, if I remember correctly.
But still, isn't there that weird rule with the Oscars where you have to have like 30% of your cast be black or something like that, or be of diversity or something? I may be mistaken, of course. Yeah.
What if then Oppenheimer was guaranteed because this was the next picture, and so he had to get that one, he had to guarantee this one or some shit. That's the conspiracy I have. There you
go. Yeah. I don't know, it's just kind of weird, man. This casting is weird.
Yeah, like it just it sucks. The Odyssey. It
really does, man.
like it's different. Like I'm not sure about this guy. He may do good. Like Ellen Page's awful casting. Like you can just say objectively bad. Zendaya, who has the look of confusion on her face all the time.
It's constipation, not confusion. Constipation.
Well, it's like she just smelt a really bad fart, and she's like, I need a shit, I need to figure out where the toilet is. Mm-hmm. She's always, but like the goddess of wisdom is the woman who looks confused. Like she's got Down syndrome a little bit.
So as someone who never watched a full episode of The Simpsons.
What?
Damn.
What?
Dude, I didn't have Fox growing up, man. It was on Fox, and my parents.
You pirate everything now. Just pirate an episode.
No. Oh, wait. So wait. So growing up, I didn't have Fox on TV, and as I said before, internet wasn't really a thing until 2020 when I first got Wi-Fi when I moved to France. So like, because struggling, of course, money, it was a huge problem growing up. Well, after a certain phase, but I never had the channel which was Fox that showed The Simpsons. So I never really watched The Simpsons because of that. And to this day, like even I know Homer, I know the memes and stuff, but I've never really sat down to watch a full episode.
Okay. It definitely goes downhill, I would say, like after season 10 or something like that. I wouldn't recommend watching all the episodes. I love the Halloween specials, so I would recommend just watch the Halloween specials, if anything.
Okay.
Because they're all just so popular
so
movies.
many classics. I don't know. There are a lot of classic episodes.
There's a lot of good episodes.
One episode and say watch that one.
Yeah.
When did The Simpsons turn like really shit?
See, I don't know, because I watched a whole bunch when I was a kid, because it was always on like Friday nights were brilliant. It was like Double Simpsons and then Robot Wars, and that was my entire Friday sorted.
Robot Wars.
Yeah, amazing. One of the best shows ever made on any channel ever. So like, I saw that, but I was really, really young, so I just didn't pay much attention. I just knew I liked The Simpsons. It's all on Disney Plus now, so I did start, because like just to try and understand all the Fringy's references, I did try and start watching a bunch of Simpsons. And like the early stuff is really, really good, but I haven't got far enough in to know exactly when it stopped. I'm guessing it's quite a long time ago, because all I've really seen of modern Simpsons is the occasional clip where Marge sounds like her vocal cords have prolapsed, and like it's just and some of the humor. They did a whole fucking song about how wonderful the EU is for some reason, which is guaranteed to piss me off. So I'm sure it's been shit for a while. I just don't know exactly when.
You could argue it's been bad for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's I think most of the chat is saying like you can watch up to season 10 or 12 comfortably.
Yeah.
I did watch the movie. I watched the movie, the one with the dome, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That one I've seen, and I've also seen the Family Guy 2-episode crossover event.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
I think that's when it started to suck. Yeah, that was when it was. Well, you got to think there's like 10 seasons. There's like 300 episodes, so it's like very hard to gauge when it turns shit.
I think those early seasons, just like because you are a film enthusiast, like uninspired, you'll really enjoy some of the spoofs and references that they make, because there's a lot to just like classic cinema in there. And then those early Treehouse of Horrors episodes were just really, really, really good. But I think, I wouldn't. You can stop at a certain, like, there's some really heartfelt episodes in there, like when they go into the backstory of how Homer and Marge were like struggling financially for a while and how their kids were born and all that stuff. So
I think the worst, the point I completely dropped it was the Lady Gaga episodes where it was just them gushing over her for the entire episode. It was just 20 minutes of advertisement for Lady Gaga, and I just went, they've sold out completely at this point.
Oh, if you do watch it, pirate it, because I know that Disney Plus, they changed not just the ratio, so like stuff is cut out, but they also they deleted like actual episodes because of controversy. So like I think the Michael Jackson episode isn't on Disney Plus.
Oh, really? They took that one away?
Yeah, because of the controversy around him.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, really? Wow, that's
He's not even playing Michael Jackson. He's playing a guy who thinks he's Michael Jackson.
I know. It's crazy, but yeah, so they took out a lot of stuff. So just pirate it if you can.
Dude, you don't even have to tell me that. Like,
that's true. Fair. Okay. Yeah, we were real people. Yeah,
it's me, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have seen Futurama though. I did like Futurama. I don't know if it's the same people that made The Simpsons or not. I'm not sure.
They were doing. That's when The Simpsons was like really in its strides. Was they did Futurama, and you had both of them on at the same time, and then Futurama kind of went away, and then Simpsons started going downhill. So like, yeah. And then Futurama came back, and it wasn't very good. So like, you can tell the momentum just went.
How many recycled ideas go into 800 episodes? There's no way. Yeah,
I'm actually curious what the viewership is like now for every new episode.
Well, it's been grandfathered in, so at this point, it's just there to be content on the streaming service.
Do they not show it on TV anymore?
No,
don't
it's on
know.
Disney Plus because Disney bought it from Fox, so they own all the rights. So they took it and put it on Disney Plus.
Okay.
But like it's like Star Trek in Paramount. They're just making it because they need content for their site, despite the fact it makes no profit.
I remember it was a big deal when a new Simpsons episode was out. Like every Sunday at like 8:30, I think it was. I would watch
Yep.
it for years. Yeah, and they were good. I think it was around the time the movie came out in, what was that, 2007 or 2008? That's when I stopped watching it every week.
Back when
Dude,
they were
over the
making
last
the
couple
Simpsons
years,
spin and run.
I
Oh, go ahead,
caught an
Sam.
episode like in the last couple of years, and Marge spoke, and I didn't recognize the voice at all. I was like freaked out. I was like, "What the fuck is coming out of that face?"
I think that actress died actually. That's why the voice changed.
No, that was the one who played Krabappel, the teacher, Bart's
Oh.
teacher.
Then maybe it was
Her voice is
cancer or
just like
something?
her vocal cords are just gone. She's like, the
Right.
thing is, though, they've been doing it for like 30, 40 years. So they're all like
40.
60, 70. Yeah,
Mhm.
they are like, yeah, she's 75. So like, it's like Patrick Stewart. He used to have a powerful voice, but now he's going, I just want to die.
Dude, that's no excuse because One Piece has been running since 1999, and they've had the same voice actress playing Luffy, and she still sounds
It
the same.
depends. Well, it depends. Like you say, for Patrick Stewart sounded great, and now he's like literally his vocal cord is one scream away from snapping completely.
I think they do weekly episodes like year round for The Simpsons, so like over 40 years, and it's not her normal voice either. So that's a lot of like strain over 40 years to keep up. with.
40 years is a lot, man, for a TV
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill used to do Joker, and he said he had to stop doing it because it actually started to change his voice.
There you go.
Because he's like, so he only did it for like 20 years, but like, 40 to 75, and you're still putting on a really gruff voice.
Mm-hmm.
There are
so-
some episodes with a poo that are fucking awesome.
Mhm.
Is it
Yeah.
Hank Azaria who plays a poo?
Not
Yeah.
anymore.
Played-
The Adi Shankar, the fucking little bitch he is, complained that Apu was voiced by a white man, even though Apu is like a great character and everyone liked him. So now it wasn't just Apu, it was Carl, Dr. Hibbert, all the black characters got revoiced, and they don't sound like the original actors. So when you hear them speak, you just go, I don't want to watch this. This is horrible.
So one thing that I saw, because I watch a lot of iceberg videos on YouTube, I saw that the reason why the early Simpsons was quite good was because a lot of people on the writing team were actually like really, really smart dudes. Like a lot of them were actual like philosophers with huge
Mathematicians,
PhDs,
yeah.
mathematicians as well. Yeah, so it's like you actually had really, really intelligent people writing the beginning of the show, and they possibly either maybe died of age, of course, but maybe they just didn't want to write the show anymore because they were out of ideas. So I think that's a reason as to why it's hit its creative slump after probably, let's say, maybe 400 episodes, I guess. Yeah. How many
Maybe
episodes are in
two.
one season?
like 24.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Something like
oh,
that.
damn.
It says earlier seasons 1 till 10 frequently drew an audience of 10 to 30 million viewers. Recent seasons, such as 36, average about 1.3 million.
Ooh.
Wow.
And those
I
are
will
just
say
live
that-
viewers?
Wow.
I think they're just general total viewers, yeah.
Ooh.
1.3 million. But I will say though, TV shows back in the day, like Friends got like, was it 80 million for the finale? Like numbers you wouldn't believe. Like
Yeah.
when The Witcher came out, they go 4 million people seen it. It's a success. Back in like the 2000s, that would get cancelled. That's not enough.
Yeah. Friends, I think, was one of the only TV shows that actually rivaled the Super Bowl in terms of viewership, live viewership back then. I think it was the season finale. Yeah. So that was crazy back then.
Well, everyone watched the same thing at the same time because you didn't have the internet. So, as Vex said, Sunday night was Simpsons night, or as Platoon, Friday night is everyone watches Simpsons.
Mm.
And then HBO was at their prime, so everyone knew this time, this day, you were watching an HBO show, usually Sunday as well.
Yeah, that was back when Game of Thrones was there. Yep, I remember.
Sunday was just like a 2 to 3 hour block of great programming, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
it was great. Yeah.
Because everyone went out on Saturday, so you're trying to recover on Sunday, so you just sit around watching TV.
Right. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, this show should have died a long time ago. It's like a skin suit, just people wearing Simpsons, but like just.
I don't even see Simpsons merch around. Like, we go to Universal every year, and like the Simpsons area is still very popular, but they haven't updated it with any of the newer stuff. So it's just, if you watch Simpsons in the Prime, you'll understand all the buildings and setup and even the merch. All their merch is like the classical Simpsons stuff.
Do you think Rick and Morty killed the Simpsons merch stuff?
Don't know, because it was shit before Rick and Morty came out.
Yeah, it was already on the decline when
Rick and Morty has killed its own momentum. Like season 3 onwards, just you get the occasional episode, which is fine, but like they had such like audience capture that they could actually like do the Szechuan sauce with McDonald's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now nobody gives a fuck, because especially what happened to them. Who is it? Is it Dan Roiland or Justin Roiland?
Justin Roiland.
Justin Roiland, one of those.
He got accused. Yeah. Oh, Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland. So Justin Roiland got accused of like sexting girls, and then it turns out there was no evidence. But he's gone. He's fired, and he's never allowed back.
But he was a dickhead, because he would get drunk when they wanted to actually write and stuff. So after season 3, from what I remember, he basically sort of was removing himself from the writer's room, because he'd either never show up or show up drunk, or just like he wasn't really putting any actual input. So Dan Harmon was sort of pushing him out, and then all the sexual allegation stuff came out, and that was just like the thing that they needed to fully push him out.
And it's funny as well, because Dan Harmon then, after that happened, of his own back, came out and admitted to actually groping a woman at a party and apologized for it. But because he's popular in the industry, all the women who had and did in fact turn on Justin Roiland about actually unproven allegations were like, this is the textbook example of how to make an apology as a man. Well done, Dan Harmon. We love you. There's not exactly a very consistent standard. One of these men admitted to doing something, the other one denied it, and I think a couple of texts were released, but like they weren't actually anywhere near the level
just
of
cringe.
Yeah, and like the other accusations were domestic violence and abuse, and those were, well, if you can't disprove an allegation of that sort, but they were not carried forward. So for the perspective of the law, they didn't happen. And yeah, he was drummed out of the show that he basically created. And I think it did start to get shit at around the time his involvement declined. So you can kind of say maybe the person who was responsible for the early quality was the man who you like cancelled. Maybe not a best idea in the world. But like Rick and Morty did, like Simpsons lost its cultural relevance, but like it also lost its cultural edge, is my impression. Back in the late 70s, 80s, even mid 90s, through to the mid 90s, a story about like a nuclear family would be quite common. Like it's very relatable to basically everyone. Everyone sort of in middle America saw themselves in The Simpsons. That just has become less common as a living experience. And the writers of The Simpsons have lost their touch with middle America, like either by bringing on new writers who were never part of that sphere, or by keeping on old writers who lost their edge because of age. Whereas something like Rick and Morty comes along, and for about 5 years, it is supremely culturally relevant. It captures the cultural mood way better. Didn't last all that long for other reasons, but some of this is just natural aging out of a story's appeal, and other parts of it are just incompetence. And I think a bit of both goes on.
I think that comment's a good one. Like South Park took out, like the people who grew up with The Simpsons kind of transitions over to South Park.
Yeah, and South Park's always been way more my thing than The Simpsons was even. Basically, I liked The Simpsons growing up, but like, as soon as I could watch South Park, that immediately, it's like one of the pinnacles of my education is South Park.
Yeah,
and it still is. It goes off the rails a little bit the last few seasons. Like the Integrity Farm stuff is shit. Because that was when they were experimenting with serialization, though. So like the flaw with that was more structural. When they actually do get back to doing it on the same sort of timescale as they used to do things, when they're able to be way more current and a little bit like more segmented, the quality of the show improved after that. Whereas The Simpsons has been a sort of like steady decline. So like one of those things is they tried something new and it didn't work, and the other one of those things is we didn't try anything new and people got bored.
I remember South Park and The Simpsons being on par for popularity for quite a number of years. And then it was when the Team America movie came out. I think that's when South Park got like a boost over The Simpsons. And then The Simpsons got a little bit more renewed interest when their movie came out. And then they floundered, but South Park remained consistent. Because I remember also starting to see South Park show up on more channels after the Team America movie came out.
And it got pretty big. I mean, it never reached, I don't think, that anything like the heights of like 30 to 40 million viewing figure for The Simpsons. But again, different viewing habits, different audiences. But I think it remained, unlike The Simpsons, which was, it was telling truths sort of from within the culture about the culture. South Park was always sort of remained slightly at a remove, or like, it's more like genuinely countercultural to this day than The Simpsons probably ever was. And it still has that appeal. They will pick targets that will piss off the fans they gained 5 years ago because they don't particularly want a set fandom. Like the point isn't to say we're making content for this audience. The point is to say we actually just take this extremely easily, and we take the piss out of anything that happens to be popular. So it's just different approaches, and it's kind of had maybe more like smaller scale but more enduring popularity in the last few years.
I
will say though, that Kathleen Kennedy one, that was weak. That was weak ass sauce. Look at George Lucas and Steven Spielberg when they did Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. They had him raping Indiana Jones several times in that episode. And the Kathleen Kennedy one, they're like, oh, you may have destroyed Star Wars and all that, but it's a bit my fault for calling you useless, which you obviously are.
I was trying to make the point that, I mean, it's not uncommonly expressed, is that Kathleen Kennedy, yes, utterly useless as CEO of Lucasfilm. However, was executive producer on a lot of the best films that were ever made. Like, she's not a talentless woman, I think is the point they were trying to make. But the point also gets confused because it dovetails with that the jokes they were making about the multiverse. So it's like when you have Cartman as Kennedy saying, put a chicken in it, make it lame and gay, is that Kathy or is that Cartman? Like it slightly dilutes the point they were trying to make. I mean, that's still the most useful clip to have come from any animated comedy of the last 10 years. But it wasn't quite as cutting and on point as it might have been.
Yeah, because they came with this half-assed midway point, but like Crystal Skull came out, you can tell that pissed them off because they copied famous rape scenes from multiple movies and just swapped out the rapists with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. So you'd have the rape scene from Deliverance, then you'd have the other one. What's her name? Played Clarice Starling. What's the actress? Jodie Foster, is it?
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, Jodie Foster.
Yeah, there's a film where she gets raped and it's like a famous case, and he replaced them with Steven Spielberg. And then when he finally arrests them, they go into their houses and they're raping a stormtrooper. There's like
but
5.
Even then, they did modify it slightly, I think, because they had George Lucas as being sort of like, they were sort of parodying Vader in Return of the Jedi. George Lucas was going along with it, and Steven Spielberg was the real evil creative mastermind. But then Lucas ultimately did not turn to the good. So like, it was not, I mean, for the most part, it was very cutting and very direct and very funny. And ultimately, George Lucas carries on raping things, so it's not exactly redemptive. But they did sort of toy with the idea that maybe he wasn't an evil man. He was just profoundly misguided.
Oh no, like there's a scene where he's blowing his loads and his face goes bright red. He's like, oh, and then like they're talking about, all the boys are talking about Indiana Jones, like a friend has died. And he goes, hey Stan, remember the refrigerator scene? It didn't make sense.
They go around, they try to report it to the police, and the police have trauma too because they've just seen the movie.
I like the way though everyone's like throwing up, going, why? And you see Butters going, I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, that's so good. I love that episode.
Oh, it's such a great episode.
Do you guys ever think that they'll actually have the balls to end shows like Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park, like proper ending? Just say, yeah, we're done. We're not doing this anymor?
I would guess South Park would be more like Simpsons will probably run until it gets cancelled, or until Matt Groening dies, and then they might say, well, it's done now. Family Guy, I don't know. I just never got into Family Guy. I could see the South Park guys being the kind sort of say, fuck it, we're done. We're finished. Yeah. That's it. Because they don't, it's not like they desperately need it. They're extremely rich. It's been extremely lucrative, and they can make Hollywood movies whenever they want to. They've got one coming out this year, I think. And they've got fucking Book of Mormon, and they own Casa Bonita, which they bought with spare change.
I can't
So, like,
believe
wow.
he bought that. It was literally an entire episode, and like, oh my god, they are literally just Cartman.
And but that's what I love about them. It's just like Matt Stone just went to the office one day and said, "Oh, did you hear it's for sale? We could buy that as a joke." And then Trey Parker said, "Yeah, we could." Have you seen the documentary they made about how It's worth watching. It is funny because like you see that the creative process that they apply to basically everything. But like Trey Parker is like so heavily involved. They redo everything. It goes from like they bought it expecting it to cost something like $11 million to make good again. But it was so broken and violated every single health code to the point where it's a miracle nobody died. And it ended up costing like 40 or something, a ridiculous amount of money. But then, so on the one hand, they were doing that. At the same time, he's like creating all these new characters and sort of kind of inventing a whole new South Park style cast for this restaurant. And apparently still goes to this day every other week and just makes changes and creative stuff. It's just like, it's a fun documentary to watch.
Because you get loads of, it looks like they actually, even when they do shit like that, they actually try and go for it, which is actually quite cool. It's like Clarkson's farm. He's actually doing farming. So it's actually interesting to watch. But like, like the South Park's always been like edgy and stuff like that. But the Simpsons, I generally think when the voice actors die, will they replace them though? Because they've already replaced one of them.
It depends.
Well, they don't fucking
money,
sound like they used to anyway. So
yeah, they don't. Would it be massively different? You could probably actually find a younger person who sounds more like Marge than the current Marge voice actor, even though she's the original. But there is another Simpsons movie coming out, and I mean, my guess is that might have an impact. If it makes a whole load of money, they'll say this is still a lucrative franchise and we'll keep it going. But ultimately, money will probably decide. It's like aging out plus not many viewers, and if it isn't making them money or gaining them subscribers, what's the point keeping it around?
Because I think your generation is sort of the only ones keeping Simpsons alive. Me, no one that I know like regularly watches anything new of Simpsons or South Park or Family Guy or anything like that. So
you say
I think it's the same with the
generation. Fuck you.
Well, you guys are like a decade older than me.
Keep up with The Simpsons. I haven't seen a Simpsons episode in a decade. How dare you assume that I'm Gen X?
Well, there you go. I haven't seen a Simpsons episode at all. I grew up watching Adventure Time and The Amazing World of Gumball, dude.
Oh, how'd you feel about Adventure Time going off the boil? Because I've heard like it's collapsed.
Absolute trash, dude. After the initial Adventure Time run, I don't think that there's any reason as to why you watch it. Because, well, it was serialized anyway, so the story sort of ended with everything with the Ice King and, death and all that stuff. So it ran its course, and then they were just like, oh, let's pick it up. I think it's the people that did the Steven Universe, which I fucking hate Steven Universe. Trash. But, yeah, it's like I think those guys came in, they sort of just transformed it into Fiona and, like, and now Finn is a woman.
Oh yeah, basically the shippers ruin everything. Like they ruined the whole Kylo and Rey. We had that because of it. Well, what happened was I think it's like an individual episode where instead of Finn and Jake, it's Fiona and Cake. It's like
there it is. Fiona and Cake,
fangirl fiction. One of these characters were girls, and then now they've went, oh, we'll just make it into an actual show made by shippers.
Yeah, it's quite bad.
Isn't Finn like dying constantly? They just keep like ruining Finn.
Yeah, Finn is basically just nonsense at this point. You should only watch the initial run, sort of like because back then they serialized a lot of stuff. Even Ben 10, you only had the initial 3 first seasons. Just watch the initial runs of those old Cartoon Network shows. Well, old Cartoon Network shows, the ones I grew up on. Just watch the initial serializations and then done. Like, don't watch any of the recent ones that they've been doing since 2015. You know
what I can't wait for? When Uninspired is on a channel and someone's younger than him and he calls him old. And we're going to do the Grandpa Simpson thing going, I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it. And what's it is weird and scary to me. And it's going to happen to you.
Dude, I already feel old hanging out with people like 5 years younger than me, dude. You have people that you don't even that don't even know One Direction was a band. They're just like, they only know Harry Styles. It's just like, huh? It's like, whoa. That already makes me feel old.
Wait to get 30 and you're like, I was running around like fucking, in school, and this person was still in his dad's ball sack.
Yeah, that'll be it, man.
When I was young, people had to make art. And all
Yeah.
you youngsters know is AI, and
Yeah,
it
now
didn't
it's
used to be
AI.
this way. There was
You know,
this
Vic-
conversation on Twitter again. It periodically pops up of people deciding that the prequels, the Star Wars prequels, were good actually. And there was one from someone who I guess is young enough to be dumb, and saying something like, "I can't believe people back in 2005 looked at this Anakin Obi-Wan fight scene and said it was terrible." And said, "Well, actually, normally people did look at the time in that specific fight scene and say it was terrible, but it probably is like a bad sign that like young people have known nothing good to the point where the Star Wars prequels are looking like high art. Because like back then, slop was better than it is
You know what's
now.
called? That's when you start like because slop back in the day was high quality slopflation, where the quality of slop has been invested. It goes up in value because time passes.
Mm.
So slop back then, it's like the pound used to be worth more. Now it's not.
It's crazy because my friend in the chat is Salvador. I was even talking about this just before hopping on stream. We were talking about Ben 10 and the Clone Wars back when it was on Cartoon Network and stuff. It was like, it's so weird because we used to I never really thought the Clone Wars itself was a good thing. I just didn't like the animation, but I still had a lot of good stuff to grow up on with Cartoon Network and Boomerang, you know, Johnny Bravo, Scooby-Doo, Dexter's Laboratory, all those classics from the mid to late 90s. I still grew up on them, so I still knew what good stuff was. But then when I watch actual cartoons that they play on TV today for like My Little Cousins or stuff like that, I'm like, man, this is really fucking retarded. It's so dumb. It's incredibly dumb. There's no story or anything, you know. I rewatched Ben 10 in its entirety recently, the original run and then the run when he's a teenager, and it's like 3 seasons of actually well-made children's television and children's storytelling. Even better than what we get with Marvel today and all that bullshit. And it's like, it's crazy to see how far children's storytelling, adults don't really care about it anymore. And I think it's one of the most important things that you have to have when you're growing up is to have good storytelling. You know, I grew up, as we were saying before, with Vex, with Gendy Tartakovsky.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Samurai Jack, all that stuff. Samurai Jack teaches you not only visual storytelling, but like it teaches you storytelling without dialogue. It's really, really good to watch as a youngster. And you just watch this shit and it's like, huh? That's why I'm still a huge fan of Scooby-Doo. And I basically every stream I bring up Scooby-Doo because like Scooby-Doo is timeless in my opinion. Because you can watch the old stuff and you don't really need to watch the new bullshit that they're doing. And yeah, Ed and Eddie, regular show. Great stuff,
Justice League, Batman animated series, all that stuff. Yeah.
They don't trust children as an audience anymore and just assume they're all dumb.
Exactly.
That's the biggest problem I've noticed with the storytelling. So it's missing heart and it's missing substance because they assume that audience just doesn't know what any of those things are. And it's like it ends up just creating kind of a really horrible like feedback loop. Because if they aren't learning it there, they aren't learning it in school, then they're not also developing kind of this good moral foundation and like these life lessons that help you become a better person and live a better life, because alternately the parents aren't at home doing that because they're all working. So you got a bunch of little psychopaths and sociopaths walking around, which statistically is actually now a problem in Canada with our youth. So
well, isn't that they're all on YouTube now? So instead of watching like Batman save a person, they're just watching a guy go skibbity Batman like that.
They're not even watching that whole video though. Like if you just leave an iPad or a phone with a kid, just don't even just sit and observe. They don't even watch the whole video. If they spend more than 15 seconds on a video, that's impressive. But otherwise, they'll just keep swiping. They aren't sitting and watching anything.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, look, as a kid, I was growing up at the age of 9, 10, watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is probably one of the best animated shows like ever. You know, it teaches you so many life values. It teaches you so many like. It's just so bad how horrible children's media in general has become. So it's like, I understand why people are dumb, because it's that coupled with the fact that parents don't want to really be parents anymore. They just want to leave a fucking phone or an iPad in front of their kid and just be like, hey man, do whatever you want to do. And it's like, dude, no, you know, the next generation is going to be cooked. Like the generation that's after me, I don't even know how the fuck they're going to survive. A lot of them can't do anything.
I already told my husband when we have our kid, they're not watching Netflix or anything. We're getting a DVD player and we're just gonna store up DVDs, and they can watch those as much as they want. If they watch something on streaming, it'll be with us once a week. But
It'd be funny if your kid goes, "I'm going to school with a very large bag and a crossbow."
You know what? I'll be impressed. And that means I did my fucking job. There you go.
Why are you buying a load of locks? Oh, it's to stop the kids from escaping.
And the reason why I know that this was good as a kid is because when I got internet when I first came to France in 2020, what I did was like, you know what, let me reassess this media. And so rewatching everything in order as an adult, I was like, man, this was actually really, really good. So it's like, I just feel so bad for kids of today. And I just, I also blame the parents because, like, dude, just make them watch Tom and Jerry, at least classic Tom and Jerry, classic Looney Tunes. Even the Looney Tunes reboot that they did, I think in around 2012 or 2011, the Looney Tunes show with the Merry Melodies. I think that is also good. But then after 2014, I'd say just cap off. Like, no, nothing after 2014. There are a couple of exceptions, of course, but after 2014, generally just nah.
It's far and few in between. Yeah. No, I agree with you.
What's funny is they go, kids need to go outside and touch grass. The problem is they've imported loads of child rapists. So if they do go out and touch grass, they'll get molested. So it's like, you can't really blame them for being stuck inside, but then you give them shit entertainment. So it's like, if I'm inside, I'm watching shitty Let's Play channels. If I go outside, a Muslim guy fingers me. So what am I supposed to do?
Wow.
I mean, they've got a very, and they also don't know how to open a book. Like loads of them just try and swipe when you give them a book. So your parents
that was the story,
aren't
wasn't it?
teaching
Like kids turning up in school, been told to read, and they were trying to swipe left and swipe right on a book. And I guess, like, technically you can swipe a page, but it's not how books work. But it's older generations, because there was another story about like students who were going in to study film, struggling to sit through a film.
Yep.
Then why are you there?
Yep.
You got to hit them. If you want them to pay attention, you go sit down and watch it.
That's the South Park thing again, isn't it? When they're giving kids Ritalin, and it's like it's a brand new instructional, like it's a groundbreaking thing that parents have never tried before. It's just called discipline, and the instructional video is just the kids acting up, and this guy says, "Sit down and study," and then smacks them, and that's what they do, and it works, and everyone comes off.
The last kid, he doesn't slap; he just sees the other two and then sits down. He goes, "You see, it works, and it spreads to other kids."
But yeah, if anyone in the chat doesn't have a kid yet, when you get kids, man, just make them watch older stuff. Don't make them watch anything new.
I'm gonna make him a psycho.
And make them fucking read as well. Sit down and
make
fucking read with them. Jesus
I like
Christ.
the way we all say he, nobody wants a girl. We all said
too many more risks with a girl.
Yep.
Like girls are well behaved, and then they turn 13 and they just become psychotic. It's like they just do a line of PCP and they never recover.
I'd much rather deal with the rowdiness of a boy from like ages 0 to 13 than I want to a girl between the ages of 10 and 25.
Well, that's the thing. The worst thing a boy can do is ruin a girl's life. That's basically it.
The worst thing a girl can do is ruin her own life. Sadly.
Yeah, well, she takes everyone with her. She's like a crab in a bucket. She's like, "You're not leaving me. I've made mistakes and you're going to pay."
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we've had this super chat. I'm surprised Cynic hasn't like flashed it on and off like 50 times. Like none of us are getting the hint.
Chat, are we cooked? I think we are.
No, I think we had a very good and meaningful discussion for the parents or soon-to-be parents in the chat.
Yeah, hit kids. Yeah.
Statistically, all 0.2 of you.
Reaper became a YouTube member.
Yes, that's a different Reaper, but welcome.
Different one, yeah.
I got copycats. That's cool. Next thing you know, he wears my face and like just tries to murder me.
Oh no, this is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
TGV Monster. Hi everyone. Good seeing you all on my Friday.
Good to see you too.
Good to see you, man.
He comes back. Billie Eilish at the Grammy says America is stolen land. No, it's conquered land, sweetie. Get it right. The mammoths aren't complaining because they dead.
They dead.
Someone pointed out because there's no one is illegal on stolen land is the latest Maoist struggle session slogan they're all using. But someone pointed out, doesn't she have a restraining order on about 5 different people who tried to break into the mansion that she owns on stolen land? So like, practice what you preach. I'm going to move into your house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stolen lands, but they believe in property rights. Doesn't make any sense.
David Smart Jr. Iron Lung was shit. LOL. The shelter was good. Thumbs up.
Well, I've heard the game is only like an hour long and the film's 2 hours. And there's not much story. It's all atmospheric. So you're having an atmospheric game be stretched to twice the length it's supposed to be.
So, well, what I heard was mostly that if you're someone who isn't very familiar with the lore of the games, you sort of feel like you have to go and look up like a lore video after this. So this is why I heard from Jeremy Johns when I was watching his review of it, but that's pretty much it.
Janice 95. I caught the Avatar 3 video is in the works. Considering the last one, I am very eagerly looking forward to it. Like a guy eagerly awaiting the lions to tear the next gladiator to pieces.
Yeah, no, it's in the works. Tyler Wolf has been doing some fantastic work editing stuff while I've been working on Stranger Things, and I will still be working on Stranger Things, which means, Tyler, if you are in the chat, hello, I might send you some more Avatar stuff. I did get the last bunch. I've just been too busy to reply, but I'll get around to doing that.
Vex, since you watch Kino, you see how insane DSP is?
You know what? I actually don't watch any of the DSP stuff. I watch all the quartering stuff because I don't know anything about Darkside Phil. I don't know the lore. So,
well, did you know he was on camera masturbating? He got caught.
Yeah,
I did hear about that because I'll watch John Graham streams, and John Graham does a wonderful DSP impression. And on yesterday's stream, he did the jerking off DSP bit, so I know what it is.
It looks like he's going to space. Like his head is leaned backwards. He's like, ugh. And then he goes, "Oh, the camera's on, huh? The camera's." He tries to play it off like the camera wasn't on.
It's like, why the fuck would you even just crack one out in front of your PC before a stream? Like, what?
Right on him. He just leans back, goes, "Oh," and then he makes like a pig noise. He goes, "Oh, the camera's on," and like, so he must just blared it into himself. And then just sat there in his own mess, and then played a video game with sticky fingers. Maybe that's why he's so bad at playing. He's like glued to the controller.
Shan says, I've not seen any Markiplier content except one 8-second video. Saw Iron Lung on the big screen 3 times in 3 days. I thought it was excellent.
Wow.
All right.
1 for, 1 for against.
Damn.
Actually, 3 against because he saw it for 3 times.
Yeah, 3
so.
fucking times.
Yeah. Vex, you're seeing it tomorrow, right?
Hopefully, if I get this next video done, then I'm going to go tomorrow. But if not, it'll just wait till Wednesday.
I tried stealing it, but Pirate Bay's down for me. Need to find another link. Government man,
I'll
keeping
give
the
you
3
one.
people. Thank you very much.
Drew Des, you should look at Mark's streams vids about Iron Lung to see the difference between him and Chris. It's so funny. Also, the way he critiques Hollywood.
Yeah, because Markiplier doesn't really give a shit about the money that he's making. He doesn't also give a shit about like the way that he's going to be seen by Hollywood. Chris Stuckman, you can tell that he does ever since he did that fucking thing that I said last week with, tell that to Zod snap neck. It's like, brother, we know that you can't write for shit. Like, man, you can tell that he's just so defensive. And that's like, that you can be defensive. I wonder if he's actually processed the criticism of Shelby Oaks as criticism and not just as hate. So I'm still wondering if that's a thing. It's like, I don't know, dude. I don't think that Chris Stuckman has a proper career in Hollywood unless he changes and becomes someone like Markiplier.
Well, he's
who just
already
wants to do it,
He's already changed. He said he's not doing negative reviews because which shows how much his own feelings get hurt, because he's like saying, I now know that filmmaking is hard, so I'm not going to insult them because that hurts their feelings, which means he doesn't want criticism as well. He doesn't want that
He doesn't
applied
want
to
his
him.
feelings to get hurt. Yeah.
Which means Shelby Oaks, when people made fun of her, he was probably in the bath, like crying. Is he crying? It's the shower. It's just the water.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Wonder Whatsy. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just here for the Reaper lore.
Well, in my brother's year, a girl was bullied for being fat and she hung herself with a tie. And I said, which got a big laugh, she can't be that fat if the tie didn't break. Another girl in another brother's year, another boy, threw himself off a bridge after murdering his girlfriend. One girl in another brother's year used to wank boys off for cigarettes. Give her a cigarette, she'd wank you off. Another girl got a blowjob in the middle of class when someone put a coat on. These are all separate brothers. Each one's a story. So there's a bunch of lore. There's
It's like the greatest fucking portrayal of the UK ever. Like,
just this corner of the UK. It's like a fucking wasteland. Yeah, she girl was sucking another lad off in class, and he had a big grin on his face, obviously. And the way they hid it is he put her coat and his coat over his lap and her head. So you just see a coat moving up and down, and this lad sitting there going, And the teacher must have known he was just writing shit on a chalkboard, not caring at all. A lot of death and suicides and sexual attacks in my school.
Jesus. Razor Hammond, Reaper, please give me back the fiddle faddle you took.
The fiddle faddle. Oh, God. He's messaged me on Twitter. He's stalking me for the fiddle faddle.
Shan, we had an Iron Lung release in Australia.
oh, wow. All the way up to Australia. That's actually,
One of my local cinema.
Quite impressive. But I mean, for UK and North America, I wouldn't be too surprised. But like to go all the way to Australia, that's quite impressive.
Like some shithole. Australia.
No, but it's like
didgeridoos and boomerangs.
like they have such different standards and stuff. I mean, like Australia is probably the place that bans the most video games and shit, like out of every other country. It's like to see it go all the way to Iron Lung, I would have never guessed. I mean, dude, it's not even playing over here in France. The closest thing that I have is Germany. If I want to go watch it at the cinema.
Well, foreign country, like they speak English. I imagine in France you'd have to hire like a translation team, and that's just not.
Oh, dude, they can't speak English to save their fucking lives over here, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wander Girl, Iron Lung is good, but you have to meet it halfway. It's not interested in catering to TikTok addicts. The first half is very slow, but the second half makes you regret wishing it would speed up.
No, it sounds to me like the first half is too slow and the second half is too fast. So,
or that shit hits the fan once it does speed up.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see it at some point this week and find out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2 positives, 1 negative.
Wiz Nilly P, this live is increasingly hard to find. I'm here every week. Was not on my feed. Refreshed twice. Had to go to the Little Platoons channel and click from there. Also not in my history. Too many Vex and bombs, probably.
I have no clue why, but it's common occurrence. Unfortunately, happens with videos as well. It's just like notification system is broken. Subscriber notification system is broken. It's yeah.
Yeah, I always have to click to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Vex. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I always have to like click to find Platoon's channel just to find the BSUP stream so I can comment at the same time in the live chat. But yeah, it doesn't on the side notification bar where it shows like your like who you subscribe to and when they upload stuff. That's the only way I know that you guys have uploaded something is if there's like a little blue dot next to your name there and it happens to be the top of the list.
Sometimes it doesn't even happen that way. The Superman video didn't even get that. It was just like most like comment section for about an hour was like Wait, no, there's literally no notification, even in the thing that's only there to tell you notifications. Fuck YouTube. Fuck you a lot.
Wisnilly P said, or not enough, referring to your N bombs.
Mm.
Jeremy Soden, needn't have worried about Iron Lung spoilers.
Nope.
Well, yeah, none of
We
us
have
watched the
not seen
movie,
it.
so.
TGV Monster, Walking Dead creator says he'll never reveal the cause of the outbreak, but I think the reason is because he doesn't even know. A massive mystery box. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Robert Kirkman,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, Kirkman.
I actually recently reread the entire comic run of Walking Dead because I fucking love it. Like, I think it's one of the best comic books, like indie comic books out there. I used to read that shit in high school. Like, I have to wait a fucking month for an issue to come out. Holy shit, dude. I hated that. But so I finally reread everything. I think I actually think that you don't really need to explain the Walking Dead's virus origin.
Agreed.
It does, like, you're there for the story of the Walking Dead, who are, of course, the survivors, Rick and all that stuff. It's like you're there for their story. I don't really need an addition to like the lore or anything. I think did they try to do it with Fear the Walking Dead? I'm not too sure.
Didn't watch it, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I know.
Maybe someone in the chat.
Who's the biker guy played by Norman Reedus?
Daryl.
He's in France now. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that show.
Oh yeah, so they basically said that the virus originated from my country. So yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, we're a bunch of dirty fucks, so I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, but Daryl isn't even in the comics. Like he's a character that was created for the show.
Original, yeah.
Yeah, he's an original character. I think the one that sort of serves as the Daryl counterpart in the comics is the guy who's Negan's right-hand man with the burnt face. I don't know if he's in the TV show or not. But yeah,
I stopped watching it before Negan even showed up, to be honest. So
no, dude, I don't blame you. I stopped watching after season. I only tried season 1 because I liked the comic book, but then after, once I saw that Frank Darabont had left after season 1, and that the actors who he had cast as the main fucking characters didn't want to continue the show, and they basically just diverted from the entire comic book after the first season because of all that stuff. I just stopped watching and I continued reading the comics.
I think I stuck around for season 3, hoping it would bounce back after season 2, and I think I got partway into season 4 and just fucking gave up.
Dude, read the comics. They're so.
I read.
Gripping.
I have the first 2 compendiums, and I've read them, and I really enjoyed them. I don't recall them detail for detail, so maybe I'll eventually read those again. But I have them; they're sitting on the bottom of my bookshelf right now.
Oh, dude, you should. I do respect Kirkman for ending this. Well, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I do respect Kirkman for literally just getting up one day and giving us the last chapter without telling anyone that it was going to be the last fucking chapter. Like, legitimately, you're just there, you're reading, you've waited a month, you're reading, fucking time lapse. They just show everything and you're like, huh? And then he has a huge like thing at the end where he's like, all right, guys, so this was the last chapter. I just want to say thank you to everyone. And I was like, wait, what? But it does end well, so I did like it. I do recommend the Walking Dead comics for anyone who hasn't read. It is definitely worth your time. Do not watch that god-awful TV show after season 1.
Dang.
Melvin Deeply. Turn.
Melvin!
Love that drop off. He's just lost.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's not for me, so I won't put in energy. Oh.
You're screaming "tur," but you clearly didn't want to commit.
Melvin Deeply for £5. Tur. All right, my reply. Melvin. There you go. Sorry for everyone listening with headphones.
She said F at the end. Turf.
I'm surprised no one adds a fucking D to the end and calls me turd every time, dude. Honestly.
Well, now it's gonna happen.
Well, now, yeah, but
just wanted to die halfway through. Although in your house, you suddenly just go, like they go, what the fuck is going on?
Juggy Wuggy, Markiplier seems like a pretty cool dude, but its older brother is a successful furry artist, so I guess each family has a black sheep.
What?
Dang.
Ew.
It's success. Like he's selling money, like making book from fairy porn.
Dude, do you know
furries
how
have
much
a
money?
Shit ton of money, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Really?
god.
If you know how
Dude.
to draw and you decide to draw furry porn, you're making bank. Bank.
Yeah, dude. Do you know that furries are actually like high-end people who make a shit like a lot? No. I
They're
mean, like a lot of
high-end
them are
folks.
like when I say like high-end, I mean like a lot of them are actually like scientists that work in like the highest level of their field. A lot of them are fucking degenerates, that's for sure. But a lot of them actually like are really, really high in terms of like pay. Do you know how much a furry suit costs? That shit costs like $3,000 or $4,000, dude. Some of them can cost up to $10,000. It's crazy how much money furries have, man. Like it genuinely just man, you know what?
I guarantee there's like a class to fairies, which is my costumes made out of actual dead animals. they're like the upper tier ones. Like I'm wearing a dead dog.
But yeah, dude, furries have a shit ton of money, man. Like if you manage to capture that market, it's crazy, but it's still a degenerate market. Apologies to any furries in the chat, but like some of you guys are just
you're fucking
freaks,
weird.
man. Yeah.
Why would you want to bum a dog? Like I just why? Why? I don't get it. Although there's this guy, I watch this program about a banker, a rich banker, and what he likes to do, he likes to go around to local prostitutes, give them crack cocaine and a curry, and then have them diarrhea on him.
Oh god.
And she
What
goes,
the
"Well,
fuck are you watching, dude?"
it was a very informative program about the prostitute's life. Like she says, he gives me a crack cocaine because cocaine makes you want to poo, and he gives me a curry. That's her dialogue, and I was like,
What the fuck?
and he's like a banker. These are like rich bankers.
What?
That's the city life they always tell you. You know, the bright lights of the city is bankers getting shit on by crackheads. Most of the time, the bright lights you see when you enter the big city are the ones when you open the fridge. You know, most people don't get that far.
Right?
You'd wish you got shit on by a crackhead. That's when you've made it. There I am, Dad. I'm paying, a cracker to shit on
rich
me.
people degeneracy just makes the Epstein Island thing seem that much more believable. It's like, of course. In fact, if anything, it's probably quite tame compared to what other people get on with.
There was another banker in China who just went, I'm just going to kill the prostitutes I'm in the room with. And he cut the heads off and he was running around the room. Like, these people are freaks and they're in charge of your money. I like the way the Chinese went, oh God, not another one. When it happened. They just
Good
feed
Lord.
them like women to be murdered. Oh, that was fun.
In my shop,
It's like the stress, like Six going, why? Why did I invite him on?
I saw Iron Lung. I enjoyed the cosmic horror, body horror, psychological horror. Only 5 total characters. The effects are great on their own merits.
Nice.
Good assessment
So,
on Iron Lung,
what
I
is it
guess.
now then?
3 to 1 positive.
Dude, Reaper, that shit fucking killed me, dude.
It's what growing up in the 90s did to you. You watch people get shit on.
This explains why you don't like train dreams now. I get it now. I get it.
I like my wife dies. Come on, I've seen way more extreme stuff than that.
Right. I like watching people get shit on. Like,
I didn't.
yeah, that's way
I don't
better.
like watching it. It was a documentary, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I'll film it. Yeah, I'll reveal to everyone that I'm a sick freak."
Dutch Gradient. Think about the political slant of the critics on Rotten Tomatoes and the subject matter of the movie. And the documentary likely didn't cost $1 million to make.
Is this
Melania, yeah.
Melania.
Actually,
and apparently it didn't
yeah.
cost $1 million to make. It cost 70.
75.
It probably like the production probably cost $1 million, but the rights cost 40. So
Yeah, that was it.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
the streaming rights that cost 40 and they added 35 as marketing. So honestly, I think that the people who sold this shit made bank, man. Holy fuck, man. Yeah, this probably cost what? I'd say maximum 2 million, because I guess you'd have to have the like the access of all that stuff, like the White House stuff. But yeah.
it should.
Yikes.
The title should be Melania. I sucked that orange guy off in the White House. Because what else is she known for other than sucking some orange guy off? Has she cured cancer? No, she hasn't done anything. She sucked old orange dick, and she gets $40 million. Explain that to me.
It's amazing. Dutch Gradient, the face that launched 2 Somali pirate boats.
Have you seen that meme? I am the Helen of Troy now.
I am Helen of Troy now.
User Vex, we probably shouldn't talk about Steinep Reaper. Oh, that reminds me.
Oh yeah, that does remind me. There's a bit
God.
like I won't go too into it, but like I was shocked. Like as a racist, you think I've got it, but Epstein was next level. He's going like, you want to hire a 98% Jew, a 78% ain't gonna be as good. I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's got it down to percentages.
Does he really talk like
I was-
that?
He did,
Yeah, like his email.
He does.
He also sounds like Woody Allen. He's like,
Oh, God.
literally, he's going, oh, black people have better motor skills, but they can't do this, and we need to genetically engineer them. I'm like, fuck it, hell.
There's a clip in around as well of like an old interview of his where he says that, oh, the worst thing you can do to a child is tell it to read. It's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
pretty sure you've proven the opposite, actually. That's not the worst thing you can do to a child, but also tells me a lot about your basic psychology. I think he's just like, he got really rich because he's very, very like pro-social, but not particularly intelligent. It's just that he spent all his time hobnobbing with very, very
Connected,
rich,
yeah.
famous people. And so it's like he tricked himself and most of the world into thinking that he was actually some kind of genius when he's not. He's kind of retarded, but sociable.
Yep, pretty much. Well, he connect people. He was always a middleman and a child sex trafficker. That also helps, but yeah, he was going writing confines your brain and read it. And it's like, no, you fucking idiot. How can you learn if you don't read? Man, he's insane. And it's also crazy. The billionaires he's with are equally as insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, it's funny though, conspiracy theorists, because they're almost like, well, you kept saying these people were super evil, and now that's come out, they can't believe their own conspiracies are true. It's like, I was only joking. I didn't realize they ate children.
God,
Papa
I'm going to
Pumpkin,
hell,
the
man.
face that started a game of Risk. Joey Bag of Donuts, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut is a brilliant musical. Yeah, it is.
One of
Yep.
the only musicals I can tolerate.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's the
It's
South
South
Park
Park.
movie.
movie.
Oh, okay.
It had, until recently, the most swears of any animated movies ever.
What beat it?
I can't remember. I think it was like,
maybe.
no, I think there was like a thing about the word fuck or something. So I think it was like an actual movie on swears that beat it.
Oh,
But like, yeah, it was. Plus, the messaging's pretty good. It's like, what does Kyle's mum says? Horrible violence is okay as long as people don't say any naughty words. That's what this war is about. Like Cartman has to save the day by swearing at Saddam Hussein.
Ministry of Dinosaurs. My 4-year-old loves Shrek, Ice Age, and Wallace and Gromit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good
Wallace
choice.
and Gromit is quite underrated, man. I've only seen Curse of the Were-Rabbit when I was growing up, but I didn't even know that it was actually like a huge franchise. I thought that it was only Curse of the Were-Rabbit as like the movie. I didn't know that it was like Wallace and Gromit. They had this TV show, and then they had multiple other movies. And even the new one that came out not too long, I think 2 years
Vengeance
ago.
Most
yeah.
Foul.
I've not seen that
Yeah.
yet. I hear good things.
I haven't seen it either, but yeah, I've heard it was
I've
good.
heard it's decent, but not as good as the other movies.
Best bots. Realistic delinquent. Best bots. Pussycats. What is that?
Dietor. It's Irish, but
Dietor.
I think it's pronounced Dietor, and then Sakilla,
And
which is the house
Sakilla.
robot. You forgot Razor and Chaos 2 and Hypnodisc. How could you? If I can put Dietor, it's just a gimmick. It's covered in fur that catches fire.
Wolfsbane, Jesus Reaper, and I thought my school was known for such deviancy. Our school is just known for both the teachers and students constantly getting pregnant.
Yeah, mine was a bit like that. That's why we had the creche on site for the kids of the kids rather than for the kids of the teachers. But it was a point of pride of the school, though, when we beat Luton for teenage pregnancy rates. We all took great heart in that because Luton's a fucking
Got a
shithole.
trophy. Well, there wasn't that much pregnancies. It was just people performing sex acts on each other in the middle of class or beating the shit. I got one lad's head and I rammed it against the goalpost because he tried to take the ball off me. Oh, just fights go. I had like about 100 fights in that school. That was funny. I know one guy had my hands in my pocket. I was leaning against the gate, and one lad said something to me, and for some reason he grabbed my arms because I think he knew I was going to punch him. So I managed to like butt him as hard as I can and then like break his nose.
Fuck.
I was about 12 at that time as well. That was
Jesus, man.
You and Brooks must swap like these horror stories.
Horror stories. Look, Reaper talks about them as if it's fucking.
Oh,
it's not horror, dude. He's loving it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I found my first dead body. Let me tell you all about it.
Reaper doesn't have PTSD. He has nostalgia, man.
It's a simple time. One of the teachers was a paedophile as well. Forgot about that.
Oh, that every British school has at least one of those.
No, like he was aggressively paedophilic. Even the kids were going, I think he needs to go.
Wait, okay. Genuine question, because isn't the legal age of consent in the UK 16? So what's the line?
Under 16.
Yeah.
But like do people still call it okay, sorry. Sorry. Let me rephrase this because like 16, you're still kind of in school. So are they still pedos if they're 16? Like, because there's the discussion in the US and Canada as well, right? Because some states and provinces, the age of consent is 16 and others it's 18. But a lot of people, regardless, still consider 16 to be
I think it's still frowned upon. It's about the gap, I suppose, from that point. So like it's technically legal, but there's probably more like it's social opprobrium. If you're like 30 or 40 and you get with a 16-year-old, that's pretty fucking weird. Like I think there might even be some low-level legal. I don't remember if there is or not because there's the age of maturity and the age of consent are two different things. Anyway, yeah, but it's not quite as hard coded as the 18 limit in America is.
Well,
in France it's 15, dude. But I don't know if I think you'd get in trouble if you're 18 and go out with a 15-year-old. But it's still weird though. I really don't. I don't know.
How are 15-year-olds in France? They're like they've got a cigarette, they've got a bottle of wine, and they're going, and they got a beard, and they're 15 years old.
That is a fair point.
He's already got 2 jobs and a kid. He's like going, sir.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's so weird.
In our school, girls were getting pregnant because they were smart. They had protected grooming fucking thing. Because every time what would happen is girls in your year would always go out with lads who were 20 who had a car. They were losers in their own generation, and they couldn't get a girl their age, but they could get a girl who's like 14 or 13.
Yeah, I agree.
Or 10 or 5.
I agree with Reaper. It's something that I saw when I moved here. A lot of guys who are around like my age, so 23, 24, 25, a lot of them go out with people who are in high school. I find that fucking disgusting, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I can't even date someone who's my age, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know why. I'm always like a year older or more. Definitely more, but you know.
For you, like,
Yeah, I was
20 years older.
It's weird here too. I'm sure like if Brooks were here, he could confirm, but like a lot of guys in Toronto who are like 25, 26, 27, 28 will go out with 16-year-olds. Like you'll see them holding hands in their fucking school uniform and everything at 4 p.m.
God.
It's weird.
Well, it's because they can't get a girl their age. Girls their age are going out with older men, like, who got way more money. They've got the house, they've got everything. If you're 20, the most you can afford is a car. It's like, well, who's going to be impressed by a car? Most women have cars. So you need to go after someone without a car. And most women who don't have a car are underaged. So it's horrendous. But of course, women's psyche, he's got a car. Ooh, I'll get into his car. He's got money.
Yeah, it's
decades
kind
of
of
stranger
like
danger adverts, which apparently have done absolutely no good whatsoever. But I believe Cynic has disappeared, so we'll carry on with these at a rate of knots because I need to go at some point tonight. Sty Games for $2 Canadian. Lord of the Ring plus PS4 and Xbox One equals Game of the Year. Yes, I agree.
Man, why do they want you to keep playing it in every
I don't
console?
fucking know. I finished it once. That's enough. TGV
I think it's just
Monster.
a joke
Oh no,
at this
we
point.
have done that one. I
Yeah, we've
think
done
we
this.
did. That one. Big T 519 for $4.99. Which is more fun, A Knight's Tale or Knight of the Seven Kingdoms? It's actually been years since I've seen A Knight's Tale.
It's getting a
It's
re-release.
cheesy.
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
what you just sent me on Discord?
Yeah, because I thought it was you that I'd been talking to some time ago who really liked that movie. I could be wrong. So in that case, I
You're wrong.
apologize.
Dude. I haven't seen that shit in like a decade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's a good cheesy corn. It's actually I didn't like it as a kid, and then I rewatched it a couple of years ago. Oh, this is kind of fire. So it's getting a re-release in 4K in theaters.
Yeah, like the night parts are good, and then like when the romance is proper cringe. Like he's going, "You're my foxy lady," and I'm like, even as a kid, I was squirming in my chair.
Yeah.
I went, "Oh, this is horrible." But then
Yeah,
when
it's
he's
fun, though.
jousting, it's good.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing my answer to that question then is going to be A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and it won't be particularly close. But yeah, I can't be asked to rewatch A Knight's Tale. It's been too long. Kinoflex reviews for $199. Markiplier got screwed for not being elite enough, but he's doing all right with $25 million.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing all right,
Minus
dude.
50.
And plus, he makes fucking 30 million a year, dude. So he's good. He's good.
Yeah. Fuck it, if I made
Poor
that much money, I might
Markiplier.
make a movie. I know, he's so poor. Not sufficiently elite.
He's just richer than most elites.
Sly Games for $2.79 Canadian. Y'all know of the England is my city meme. I do not.
England is my city.
I don't
meme.
know. I don't know that
Never heard of this.
at
No.
all.
I don't know.
Nope. News to me. Kinoflex reviews for $1.99. A fairy was hired at NASA but got fired instantly.
I remember that. Yeah.
That's only
Was
because
he
they found out that it was a furry. They're probably furries at NASA, dude.
It'd be funny if it was another fairy firing him, so they're both in fairy costumes going, "We have to let you go."
That's how the meeting takes place. It's just an entire boardroom of fairies.
Yeah, he goes, "But we're all fairies, yeah, but you got caught. You spilled the secrets."
Speaking of, user 5573 for $9.99 DGen Fairy here, aviation software engineer. Suit costs $7,000, presumably dollars. Don't wear it to bed. Real fur is usually taboo among. Well, at least they have some standards. We can't be wearing fur. Any other questions? No, but it's interesting. It does seem to be like a. Because there's a is it autoerotic identity inversion? I think is the thing that psychologists use to describe. The phenomenon is like your fetish is imagining yourself as the object of your own sexual. Like basically, you are the thing you find attractive. And I gather this is the thing that sort of animates a lot of fairies, and that might correlate with just being like, with as kindly as possible, slightly high functioning autistic. So it might be, maybe that's the reason. Maybe fairyism is a high IQ degeneracy. There you go.
Brain
You can't get
damage.
much more of a qualified compliment than that. You're very
Hold
clever,
on.
you fucking
I'm-
degenerate.
So wait, women that fuck dogs see dogs as themselves.
No.
and that's
They would.
what-
They want. If a woman found a dog attractive, then they would gain sexual gratification from imagining or dressing up as the dog themselves. In other words, like what you objectify, you want to be that object yourself, which is why. Like a lot of furries will dress up not as the thing other furries necessarily find attractive, but as like the furry they find attractive. If that makes
So if a
sense.
dog gets destroyed, they want to be destroyed like the dog, kind of.
Yeah, or they want to be the dog specifically getting destroyed.
Oh
'Cause,
God,
like,
it just gets
there's
worse.
there's a bit of a crossover with like some, because like the trans label is so broadly defined, and like, it includes genuine gender dysphoria, sex dysphoria, but it also includes like autogynephilia, which is a form of, I think, autoerotic identity inversion. It's gaining sexual gratification from imagining yourself as an attractive woman, and that, like, because the term is not properly defined, that all gets lumped under the label trans, which means people with gender dysphoria are lumped in with who are like general degenerates.
You know, we used to burn these people at a stake.
I mean,
I'm not saying that was actually. Burn these people.
They've
at
gone
stake,
up in society, man. They've gone up in society. I'm telling you, they're
Planes are
software
falling out of the
engineers.
sky.
They're basically making society function at this point. Like,
No,
it's
like
crazy.
planes are falling out the sky, and this guy's because this guy can't see his keyboard through his eye sockets. He can't type the letters. Would you, if you saw a fairy like tightening up the airplane wing, would you stay on or would you get off?
well, apparently they're statistically likely to be very clever and good at their job. So actually, it might make you more likely to stay on the plane. It's just you wouldn't want to go to a bar with them afterwards. I think that would be where I'd draw the line.
Just they're good in jobs. So basically, we should have them like in a farm, just working on chains, and they get no freedom.
God, a fairy farm, because they'd really get it. No.
Oh God,
Fucking
yeah.
farm animals. That would be like, it's basically a brothel.
You'd have half animal hybrids, wouldn't you? Going, kill me.
Oh, James Busher, 4290 for £5. Sorry if you've already discussed it, when we've discussed a lot, mate. 2 hours behind. But are you surprised? Oh, it's a tame one. By how much the Bone Temple has bombed, considering its good reviews.
It's about films.
Well, that's a relief. Yeah, no, I'm kind of not surprised in the sense that no one gave a shit about the first one. It was not very good, and it did not drum up interest in the second. I don't even know if that many people knew there was a second one coming out. But turns out, yeah, the audience for people who want to see a small child going around England with people dressed as Jimmy Savile is quite small. So there you go. We've all moved on from the heavy days of the early 2000s when that sort of thing was good.
It was just me who watched it, and it wasn't even that good. It was basically the same movie, but slightly more coherent, but still boring and pointless.
Dang. Yeah, I still haven't seen it. I will eventually, but
I'm not even sure if I will. Can't be asked.
It's pointless. Like the subplots from the first movie have no payoff. Like the baby doesn't exist in the second movie. No mention, nothing.
I forgot about the baby. That it wasn't even. Oh yeah, true. It wasn't even in the second movie.
Well, there's going to be a third movie, so we get to see what happens to it then.
Cillian Murphy. Because he just shows up at the end going, World War II was this. And I'm like, what?
Spoiler alert.
I'm the only person. I'm spoiling. No one's watching it.
Sty Games. I was going to say this was the last super chat, but just as I started speaking, another one came in. So it's the penultimate super chat until another one comes in later. For $5 Canadian. Have you seen the Kingpin because of my weight meme vid? It's a ridiculously funny edit of a clip from Spidey, the animated series, and you won't regret it. I have not seen this. Has anybody seen it?
No.
Nope.
I haven't at all.
There you go. We're learning a lot. Fucking hell, they keep coming. There's like 3 more now.
We're never going to leave. And they all talk about fairies or Epstein.
Judge graded for $5. Box office results from this past week are bullshit because a third of the US was covered by snow and ice. And yet still $27 million for Iron Lung. So it didn't do too much damage to that. But yes, I imagine it is slightly
domestic. It only counts for domestic as well. When it comes to international, we're not covered in snow.
Aren't you like snowed in? in Canada. Oh, she's gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
She was
Sorry,
last
Sorry,
week.
I'm in absolute shock right now of what I just listened to with the furry shit. So my brain is still. What did you ask, Reaper?
Oh, that was ages ago. We've moved on. We go at lightning speed here.
I'm
Are you
just trying to
still snowed in?
conceptualize. Just.
No, you're drawing
no.
it and drooling.
No. We're in a
is it-
deep freeze, but the snow has kind of tapered off. But we're supposed to get another bout of it this coming weekend.
You lucky fucker. We just
My
don't
skin is
get
dying.
that.
Have you made a
Well-
snowman with a dick? Like I did.
I haven't because it's too cold, but I did take a picture of the snow pile at work the other day. Hold on, I'll put it in the Discord because it's the biggest snow pile I think I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Well, I say give some tips when you're crafting the dick. You need to do it at like an arch, like kind of like an L shape, because if it's a straight line, 45 degrees, it collapses.
You need
You need to have
structural
like a-
engineering. A
I
furry would
used
actually be good
balls.
at making one of those because they'd be able to tell you exactly where the support beams need to go.
You want the balls to be close to the base because they need to prop it up like a counterweight, and you can shove the shaft into the balls so it's got a bit more structural strength. So want tips?
Side games.
Building
Well-
snow cocks. I'm your guy.
Amelia Perez's Man to Woman song is comedy gold. It is. I've not yet found a way to put that into another video, but it's going to come back at some point. Maybe the next Stranger Things one will find an excuse to stick that brilliant piece of music in there. Intent Matters for €5. Loving this episode of BSUP After Dark. Yeah. Reaper keeping it alive against all odds.
I'm trying to crash Platoon's channel.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's going so well at the moment. It needs more crashing. Joey Bag of Donuts, 1732 for $199. Let's turn this into an After Dark chat. It already fucking is. What could we? No, I'm not even going to ask that question. Moving on.
Could?
No,
Did you know
we can't.
Mushroom?
Sty Games, $5,450 for $2 Canadian. Platoon, I hear your Xbox One in the background calling for Gollum. I don't own an Xbox One, so it's not. You're lying. I have taste. Of course I don't own a fucking Xbox One. Jesus Christ, what do you think I am, a degenerate furry? Finally, maybe, limited cheater for $2 Australian. Reaper, save for Smeg's sake, Rimmer, make me happy.
For Smeg's sake, Rimmer. Isn't Smeg the cheese in your dick?
Yeah,
Was it
That's smegma, yeah.
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 Is Smeg like a different form of it, or is it different? Or because scumbag is just a condom you've masturbated into because it's cum bag and then
Oh,
it's got
God
scum.
damn it. What have you done, Joey Bag of Donuts? $199. One more story for the road, Reaper. Make it a quick one because, it's not the last fucking one. God damn it.
My mother knocked my brother out with a trophy once.
I'm sorry, what? Say that again?
Yeah, my mum got into an argument with one of my brothers and knocked him out with a trophy. With his boxing trophy. It's quite ironic, really.
Finally, Sty Games. No, it's not. Fucking- Ah,
Your Xbox.
Oh no, this money! How dare you?
it's fine, but sleep would
How
also
many
be good.
Gollum once?
I still don't own. I haven't owned an Xbox One in the time since the last time you said I should play it on Xbox One. I don't own one, and I'm never going to. Finally, Dodge Gradient for $2. Sorry, oh my god.
It's another one.
I
God, Emily.
fuck that one. Sky Games again. Fuck you. Yes, I'm the last fucking super chat. Yes, you are. We're done.
He's a
Goodbye. See you
super
later.
cat.
Ending the stream. Fine. No, I hit the end stream.